right, welcome everybody to the Arsenal Fan Circle, the Thursday night show. Pull up a chair. You're all welcome here, and I see a couple new people in here now tonight. The Assembled has joined us tonight. Stephen, the Arsenal Misfits here. Evening all. The Assembled is back. Evening everyone. And Gary has joined us. Hello everybody. All right. Listen, I'm calling this a recovery result. We're going to talk about the Shaktar Donetsk game. Gary, it's kind of the game you want. I didn't see the game, so full confession. I was thinking about taking a half a day, and it didn't work out for me. I was busy at work. It turns out, as I hear, the entertainment value was low in this game, Shaktar Donetsk. But I'm going to say from the outset, looking at the highlights, this could have been, and tell me if I'm wrong, this could have been a 2 or 3-0 victory, and we'd feel a little bit different about this. But it was a recovery result, something we needed to get back in winning ways after what happened at the weekend. But go ahead, Gary.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, as I was saying in the back room there, yeah, we got the win, so we're taking the win, but I don't like the style of play we're playing. I think we have answers and we're not using them. So we can't afford to keep giving teams, opportunities to attack us, and we're doing that. We had a lot of opportunities which we were missing, but we need more. Like the way we play when we're good, we have more opportunities to score. So the fact that we're getting some is great, because that means we're at least getting chances. But we need more than that, because we need more chances. We're not that efficient, right? So we need more chances so we can score more goals, so we can keep ourselves away from surprising losses and draws and stuff like that. So it's going to get back on the win, like I said. But I mean, Arteta is playing a style of football that's hurting his squad. They need to be able to go out there and play with a little bit more confidence, and not seems like we're just rolling over and trying to play it too safe. And guess what? When you play it too safe, you give the other team a little bit more confidence than they should. And I think it's come back to haunt us already this season, and we can't afford it to happen again. No more.
Yeah. Okay, and there's more coming out of that. I want to get to Stan next. Stephen said, you're better for now having watched it live. It was a poor match with Martinelli for me, getting man in the match. Stan, I don't know if you probably heard my opening salvo, Gary's opening salvo. What are your thoughts, Stan?
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because if you look at the league, we've played 8 games and we've won 7, right?
We've drawn 2 of those and lost 1.
Sorry, I was reading the wrong thing. We've won 5, drawn 2, lost 1.
Doesn't sound great.
15 points.
17.
City on 19. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at this weird page.
Is this Tony in disguise?
Maybe. I'm taking his place. It's 17, 20, and 21. And I just feel like we've been playing a bit scruffy.
Yes.
I feel like we're kind of like struggling through games. I mean, we've been playing so many games with 10 men. I don't know. It just feels a bit disjointed. And I think that my biggest fear of not having a big enough squad with more quality in it is hurting us.
Being realised.
And when you've got players that play in your defence that are good in 2 or 3 positions, and you get 2 of them are unavailable, that really hurts you, because you're now missing. It seems like you're missing more players, right? Because those players, Tomiyasu can play in a few positions, Calafiori can play in a few positions, and they're not available. Timber is another one, can play in a couple of positions, not available. So I'm just not feeling good about things at the moment.
Yeah.
Looking on social media as well. I mean, sometimes I wish I could watch other. I mean, I don't watch other football clubs' social media, And like all other clubs like this, the way it is like for Arsenal, it just seems like so loud, and so much discontent.
The echo
And
chamber.
I just think that the way that it is for Arsenal at the moment, with the outside forces working against us, teams wanting to write letters about us. If there's ever been a time for the fan base to come together, isn't it now?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it seems like other than Arsenal fans, nobody else really cares for us that much. So we might as well start liking each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
Listen,
know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, things could have gone a little bit different on Tuesday night. If David Raya, once again, David Raya doesn't pull off, a really, really good save, if not, some people are calling a world-class save, right at the death at 90 minutes. We're looking at a 1-1 draw in a situation where we've just been looking at the Champions League groupings, and it's it's been 3 games, and you would expect it to be pretty tight after 3 games, but as Gary pointed out, goal difference could become a factor in Champions League games. So when you're looking at Gabriel Jesus missing that chance or the goalkeeper having a good save, when you're looking at the ball cleared off of Havertz's head when he pretty much is looking at a record, goal streak at home, and you're looking at Leandro Trossard missing a penalty. These are the key highlights that I saw. I want to give credit to Martinelli. We'll talk about Martinelli. Basically, that's his goal. You know what I mean? The fact that he got a little bit of a slice of luck, but when you're looking at all of that, and goal difference could come into play in this Champions League grouping, just for the top 8 places. I think we'll comfortably qualify in the top 16, but are we going to spare ourselves a couple of extra games in January, February? That's going to be important. A couple of quick comments here. Leeds' decision to soak the Watford keeper with the sprinklers before the game, then him making 2 mistakes in the first 7 minutes. Man United won. 1-1 red card, Mourinho. I heard that Trossard lookalike referee sent off Mourinho tonight. Okay, do you think they'll get promoted? That's Leeds talk right there. Martinelli was going. Kai did good. Gabriel as well. So, Gary, what are your thoughts on the game in terms of, okay, you verbalized goal difference in the green room before we started, but are we in our dip right now? As Stan has mentioned, are we in a kind of a little bit of a dip in form? Five wins in the league, 2 draws and 1 defeat.
I don't think we're at a dip. I believe it's not the players right now. I believe it's the coach.
Manager.
I believe it's,
Yeah.
I think the manager is.
I mean,
What are you saying? I can't
Mose,
say that.
I get what you've been like with selections and things like that, Gary, but something like, for example, Trossard stitching up Saliba and kicking the ball back, that's not the manager, that's the player. So I think sometimes the blame has to be laid evenly. It can't just be one or the other.
No, okay, no, but you know what? Those things happened before. Those things happened before,
saying is,
right?
it's the players that pass the ball to each other. And if you're misplacing passes or you're running towards goal and you've got the whole goal to shoot at and you shoot straight at the keeper, that's you can't put that on the manager. You have to put that on Martinelli.
But you heard me, right? We get those opportunities no matter what. We need double the opportunities because we're not that clinical. We've been saying that for day one. From day one, we've been saying we're not a clinical team. We need more opportunities because we're not scoring them when we get them. Like how many times a game do you look at 3 or 4 chances and go, those are sitters, those are goals that we should at least put on target. We don't even do that sometimes. So for me, that's just standard. Like if you know your team, you already know they won't. It doesn't work just giving them one opportunity a game. right? One player, each player that scores for us, if they get one opportunity a game, they're not going to score. They need more than that. We've seen it,
Mm.
right? Havertz has a chance to get a brace. He misses a sitter, but then he hits another one in the Brighton game, right? That's a difference in us getting all the 3 points in that game, right? So we've seen this. So for me, if you know your squad
Mm.
and you decide to go with, a midline of what you did in the Bournemouth game, you're asking for trouble. It came back to haunt you, you know? So, and I think that's when I say it's on the coach, right? If Winery cannot play in these games, why in the world would you get rid of Emilio Ferro and not bring in a player that you trust more, right? Because guess what? We knew going in that we were lucky last season that Gabriel, Saka, uh, Saliba, and Erdogan, right?
And
We were
Trossard.
we were so lucky that
Yeah.
no, those four players, those are our four best players, I believe,
Trossard.
that we didn't have any injury problems with them. Trossard is coming in and out of the lineup already, so we know
Well,
that.
last season they had a good season.
No,
Last
but he's had to sit for injury's sake.
Yeah.
But those four players, we've been lucky. We haven't had to sit them much at all in the last couple of years, and we've seen the benefit of it. And we knew coming in, we needed to have depth behind them. We knew this.
Mhm.
We knew this. We let go 3 attackers. We bring in none in terms of selling and buying players, right? And Wary is like is a freebie, and they're treating him like that, right? They don't have
Yeah.
any trust in him to play him in any of these games. And guess what we need? Somebody like him, somebody with those skills. So that's where
He's there.
coaching, right? So, when you don't use them, and when you're finding it hard to progress up the field and have somebody who has a more attack minded
Creativity. Yeah.
attack in their tool in their belt, right? Then you're asking for trouble because our defense can hold up, right? But we always said this: our defense is as good as our press up top, and the number one person for that is out, and it's going to be out for another couple months, basically. It seems. So if you can't press up front, guess what? Your defense will have to play some better defense, and guess what? They're not doing. They're not playing better defense. Like
Lincoln
that
goals.
that touch by Saliba, he has to know he cannot make that touch. He cannot reach out for that player. It's better to go down one to take an opportunity to maybe get a red. He has to know that as the last line defender. There's sometimes like early in the game and late in the game, maybe you take that chance, but early in the game when it's 0-0, there's no reason to do that.
Yeah.
Against a team that's sitting in the bottom half of the league,
And
right? We're supposed to be winning those games 2-0 easy. All right, we go down a man in the first half on the road. Guess what? And then we don't play like we want to try to beat them, right? Everybody said you can beat a team down a man. Arsenal's supposed to be at that level, and we didn't play like that either. And that's on the manager, right? So there's mentality things on the squad, but there's also the way we're set up. So
you're both right. At the weekend, the lineup could have been better. I think somebody mentioned, I think it might have been Stephen, 3 midfielders, 3 holding midfielders away to Bournemouth. And we're asking the creativity to come from Sterling, Havertz, and Trossard in that game. Stan is correct also. The players that are put on the field are professional footballers, and they have to maintain control of the ball at all times and keep possession of the ball. And then it's up to the manager. If it's still a stalemate, we don't have that Saliba incident, and it's still a stalemate going into the second half. Change it up early, and bring these changes, bring the players in that can do that for you. And as both of you, I think, have said, we lost attackers. Emile Smith Rowe to balance the books, in my opinion, it looks like from this summer, balance the books. And we had a really, really burgeoning talent in Ethan Nwaneri. He's still at the club, and we are adverse to using him, adverse to the risk of putting a young player amongst senior players on a field Where I
What
think
he's
if you
doing,
just
what
open
he's
it up,
doing is, right,
just open it up,
what
Stan,
he's
it could
doing-
be so much easier.
what he's
Go ahead.
doing is, and I mentioned this on the last show, he's looking at the midfield. Obviously, there's no Odegaard, and he's thinking, right, how can I fill that hole? And he's standing and he's looking at Mourinho, and he's looking at Nweri, and he's probably, this is my opinion, he's probably thinking to himself, should I pick the one that I paid over 30 million for, or should I pick the kid? They're both available about the same time. Mourinho didn't have a chance because he had that injury. He's been waiting in the wings. He's the big name. He's won a European Championship. I've got the kid as well. The kid's a good prospect. And he's gone with the name. And he's probably thought, well, the kid's been waiting. He can wait a little bit longer. But the thing is, these players have different attributes.
Yep.
They have different traits. They're good at doing different things.
Yep.
So he needed to have done the more sensible one and go, well, obviously the player that we're looking for in that midfield fits the traits of an Nweri. Can't even say the guy's name, so I say it different every time. I'm going to call him Ethan.
Say Nweri. Just say Nweri.
No, from now on it's Ethan.
Your name is Stanley. Nobody calls you by some weird, like you know his name. He's your team. He's your player. He's your player. Nweri. Forget the
He's
end.
your Arsenal Academy player. He's one of Tony's kids.
Why would you want to know how to say his name correctly?
One of Tony's kids.
Ethan's good.
So
you
keep
say,
saying
you say a lot of other players' names that are really difficult. Come on.
Hey Tony,
you're doing exactly what Arteta is. You know what you're doing? You're doing exactly what Arteta is. You're come on.
Nweri.
There you go.
Nweri. There you go.
Nweri. Everybody happy? Right.
You're exactly right, Stan. You're exactly right. You've hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Gary's hit the nail on the head.
The man that can't even say Odegaard.
I can't. Erdegaard. And that's what I was told by a Norwegian. Norwegian told me that's how they say his name. So there you go. So blame Sam. All right.
Sam Greenwood. All right. Ethan,
you see on Steven's comment there. He says that Arteta has made no change to our defense, which is playing like we still have Erdegaard. Yeah, I mean they're playing deeper, but all that does is invite more pressure. The reason why we were so good in the past is because they didn't put that much pressure on our defense because we were pressing them up top, right? So if you're not going to play that, if you don't have that man to press up top, you got to play a different style of defense, and you can't allow a team to just walk you down the pitch. They're walking up the pitch, and we're just sitting back. We're not putting any pressure on them until they get into the final third. A little too late. We need to be able to put pressure on them in the midfield somehow to slow down any kind of pressure they put on us, but we don't. And you can't do that. We say it all the time. You can't just sit back and try. We're not disciplined enough to play the way he's playing us defensively when we just let teams get into our final third unscathed. Right? They need to work for that.
I asked if we are in a dip at the moment, and definitely in terms of scoring goals, we're in a dip. And if you're not able to put some goals on the board, and the way Arsenal plays and the way Gary correctly is characterizing our defense right now, you're always likely to concede a goal. Well, guess what? If you can't score too many, and you're likely to concede a goal, a draw or two will creep into our results. And a loss will pop up once in every little while. So that's what's happening
as well. When you look at the defense and you look at the back four, I'm all for one that you don't really want to rotate. Once you find your back four, once you've found who plays in those positions, you want them to play together as much as you can. You know, and if you look at our fullback positions, how many changes this season have we made at left back and right back? It's been like a carousel. The only solid part has been Raya and the two centre-backs. Last season, we had a more solid foundation. There wasn't really that much jiggery-pokery going on. It seemed to be more solid, especially near the end of the season. But now we're trying to fit in Calafiori. We've got Tommy Asu, who's in and out of the squad. Timber was playing for a while at near the beginning of the season. Ben White has been out of the team. I don't know if that's because of a niggle or he's needed rest. So we haven't really had that balanced base. And that could be the reason why it doesn't look as solid as it did last season, because there's there's too much of a carousel going on at the fullback position.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Who
We're gonna.
really is? Who is Arsenal's left back? Who is it? Is it Calafiori? Is it Timber? Is it Zinchenko, who appears to have fallen down the pecking order? Is it Tommy
Are
Ashford?
you asking who we think?
Everybody's fit.
Mikel?
Who's the starter? Everybody's fit.
Are you asking who we think Mikel feels is the number one left back at the club? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking what anybody thinks because it doesn't seem to be nailed down in my eyes.
For me,
it really doesn't seem.
It's Timber.
Back in the old days, we knew that if everybody was fit, Nigel Winterburn would be playing. And if he wasn't fit or was suspended, then we're looking at something else. But there was no, we knew who owned that position. Same with Dixon on the right. I thought Ben White was our de facto right back, but it seems that I don't know what's going on there. Timber's been popping up there. Ben White seems to be being arrested or, as I say, maybe carrying a needle. Who are our fullbacks? Who's our defense? I'd like to think that Ben White is our right back, right? We seem to have invested a lot of time there. I think he's supposed to be the right back, but at left back, I'm still puzzled.
Yeah, listen, for me, I think it's Jurriën Timber on the left and Ben White on the right. The performances have borne.
You think Timber will start at left back ahead of Calafiori?
Calafiori, I still rate him as a player, but I think Timber is just a little bit of a better defender. Gary, what are your thoughts on the fullback area?
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I think, we think we had it. It's just a matter of injuries now that have been causing a little bit of rotation there. Timber, based on what I've seen so far, Timber probably should be our starter, number one, but he needs to be rotated in and out of the lineup periodically.
What position, Gary?
He's not at left back right now. Yeah, definitely at left back right now. That's the only way. That's the only place he can get in where we don't have to, as you say, try and do something new. Right, because if we put him on right back, then now we have to figure out who's our left back again. Right, he can play left back. He plays it well for me. He plays better than any of our left backs.
Yep.
For me, because he offers both the defensive, a little bit more defensive stability. Because Calafiori is a little bit flaky on that left side. We've seen it too many times now for it not to be an issue. I think Calafiori is more of he'll take more risks moving the ball up the pitch than Timber does. But Timber, I think, plays. The problem, I think, is the way that I think, like I said, the way that we're coached, Timber fits the mold better. I think Arteta has to curb Calafiori and tone him down a little bit. And I think, the things I liked about Calafiori, I think of the things Arteta is like, that gives him nightmares. And he's like, how do I even get, like, when he scored that goal against City, that's probably not anything Arteta was expecting to happen from his fullback. Not at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not at all.
He likes to get forward.
That tackle that Timber made in the which game was that?
Tottenham game.
I can't remember if it was that game.
Yeah, and then there's a barnstormer in the corner, right?
Yeah. He just took the ball. He made that really nice tackle in the box, right? That's what Arteta is looking at. Calafiori, we've seen so far, has not shown us anything like that. Right, like he's going to make that.
I just think that
tackle. So I think it's the style of player that Arteta is looking for. Calafiori is a lot. We always talk about Arteta. How does he deal with those players that are a little bit more flashy with their play, right? And we always said he'd probably go for the more conservative player. Calafiori is a lot more crazy than Arteta. I don't know about that, but But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like a player that's a little bit outlandish out there, and that does
taking the catnip, Gary. He's taking the catnip. Calafiori does. He takes some catnip.
Yeah. No, I just
bromide in his tea, like they do in Borstal.
Yeah. Listen, and he goes.
But do you not think
rampaging down that left?
I don't think Mikel Arteta paid. The second highest he's paid for a defender after Ben White is Calafiori. I don't think he paid that amount of money for him to be back up. He paid that money to have him started, I think.
I think you're looking at I think you're looking at 7 or 8 defenders at the club who he feels could play anytime, anywhere in the season. Now we're going into 6, 7, and
We not
8
even mentioned Kivior.
defenders. No, we
Another
haven't
one.
mentioned Kivior. And listen,
Another
we're
one.
always looking. We're always looking to the next game. So we'll be talking tonight. Before we actually talk about the Liverpool game, we're talking maybe as a kind of a prelude to the preview of the Liverpool game and what we're talking about now in terms of the fullback situation, because we'll have to pick a team later tonight for that Liverpool game, and Calafiori maybe is injured as well. He went down.
I
With
think
twisted
Timber
knee.
to me looks. I think for me, Timber looks more comfortable as a right back, maybe as a centre back as well, as a right-sided centre back in Saliba's spot. I think he's all right at left back, but I think it's. I'm not convinced. It's a little bit like. Do you remember one time when a few seasons back? I can't remember the reason why we played Shaktar at left back, and in that game, he had a really good game. And everyone's like, wow, this is his new position. And then he played the next game and was dog shit. I got a feeling that Timber could be like that on the left, that he'll have some good games there, but I don't think it's his natural side. And I'm not sure whether it's something that I would want to rely on a permanent basis. Calafiori, for me, looks a little bit rough around the edges at times as well.
Yeah,
You know what
I think he's
I'm not looking at him and I'm not looking at him and going, ooh. Sometimes I'm a little bit like, it's a bit rough, isn't he? But the money we paid for him, I was expecting something a little bit more smoother.
I think what Calafiori needs to work on is not losing his man when the ball is being played. I think positionally he can get got at. I think players can get behind him positionally. He seems to maybe switch off for a split second. But I'm still invested in
for him. Player. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We paid 40 odd million for Calafiori.
Yeah, you've had your warning now.
Context of what we've been paying for defenders, that's a pretty penny.
Yeah, 42 million is a decent amount. So this is Tony. I'll be in there in a bit to sort you lot out. There you go.
Sort us out. What nonsense is that?
That's Tom. He's hanging out with Tom too much.
I guess so.
That's what that is.
I mean, it is a lot of money to spend on. That's why people were like, "Why don't we take some of that money and put it into an attacker, right? Why can't we get an attacker, right? Tierney's back, back.
You know what I'd like to do,
but you know what? But we needed another attacker. We sold 3 attackers. We brought how many in? In reality, none, right? Because Sterling was just like that's like how that's like the what does it call it, the bargain basement type thing. You were
Dollarama.
You're like, oh, what just happened here? Oh, it just fell in your lap, this bargain. And will it work for you? I don't know, but we're gonna do it anyways because it's gonna cost us nothing. So they're taking a risk, not really taking a risk on him, but they really needed a legitimate attacker to come in, one that they actually picked and wanted to go for. That's why it looked like the only player they wanted to go for was Sesko, supposedly. At least it seemed, anyways, in my eyes.
Gyökeres, maybe.
No, they didn't go for him.
There was interest in Sesko early.
They didn't actually. I don't think they had that strong of interest in him.
They're watching him.
Yeah, if they're watching him, then they better make a bid in January. Then
we're supposed to be watching Isak as well. We're watching everybody.
Isak's too injury prone right now. We don't need any of that.
Watching him.
He's been injured. Has he even played this season?
Isak's been out a few games.
He's played this season, hasn't
he? Yeah, he hasn't played much this season. I think I'd rather go for a younger Gyökeres, Osman, maybe. But Osman would have been the easier choice. We could have got him easy.
He's played 6 matches this season. Not bad out of 8.
Who has?
Isak.
How many minutes has he played?
I don't know about the minutes.
Has Jesse started a game? I don't even think he's started. I mean, his numbers aren't. We're like, that's not the guy we want. We want somebody who's going to start.
1 goal, 1 assist, which is more than Jesus.
We want way better than 1 goal and 1 assist in 8 games into the season. All right.
We have a new Mr. 24, Gabriel Jesus, 23 games without a goal. A new Mr. 24. Now the Partey knock on wood, is
And right there, you are playing with fire. We're playing with fire once again. You have a number in your head. What is that number, Ray? When it comes to
24.
Partey, right? How
Yeah.
many games has he played?
I
All of them.
mean,
He's played in all of them.
is he really?
I think every game he's played.
All right, we're
He's
halfway there, Gary. We have to be
And
12
that's
games
you're
into
playing
the
with
season.
fire
Now.
once again. You're asking him to do
Yep.
something he hasn't done for you in 3 years. This is the fourth. Is it the fourth year? I think, or the fifth year for us, right? Is he going to go and play 25, 26 Premier League games? Much on top of that, Champions League and some cup matches if we make it deep, right?
This is
He's never been there for the running of a season, has he? He's never been available for the end running.
No, not too much. I mean, he came back into the team toward the end of the season.
You know what? The thing about Sterling, though, like
last season, man, it was toilet.
Yeah, wasn't good.
I was gonna say the thing about Sterling is, you know what? For me, Sterling has his receipts are the same as Eddie Nketiah. If he's not scoring goals, I don't care what else he does.
The stink of Eddie.
So, that's the only currency it works. You have to score goals if you come into a game.
We're putting Jesus in there as well, Gary, right?
But what if he has that? What if he has a Havertz turnaround though? What if he has a Havertz turnaround in like the last 12 games of the season? Something happens in his, you know.
But we're going to go back and say where were those goals we needed earlier in the season? We're going to say that. That's the problem. We don't need goals at the end of the season. We need goals yesterday. Yeah. When he plays next, he has to bring receipts of goals, right? He needs to when he punches the check saying he's in, it needs to come with goals.
Gabriel Jesus, right? Is that who we're on right now? Gabriel Jesus. So, what were your thoughts on his game against Shaktar? You know, we're trying to get him back to some semblance of a player who can, maybe we can think about firing back on certain cylinders. I saw in my highlights he had a chance one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and
he goes near post. He has a better chance to score.
Yeah. I saw that too.
Cross. He tries to go to the far post, and it's not even close.
Yeah, a bit like the Martinelli.
If he puts some pressure on that and hits it near post, he's more likely to score. It's similar to what we saw from Martinelli. If he goes near post, he scores. He goes across the goalie, and that's for me somebody who doesn't have confidence. You know, it's easy to kick for the wide part of the goal, but to hit it near post, which is what we typically hit it straight at the goal when we should be going to a corner, and then when we're supposed to go straight to the near post, which is in this case straight at the goal because that's where they're standing. We go across, and the goalkeeper's easy gets a hand on it both times. So like those are two goals strikers are supposed to, attackers are supposed to make, right? Our Arsenal attackers are supposed to make because that's you put them in a really good situation there. They've been choosing wrong, or they're not confident they're going to be able to get a shot past the goalkeeper on the near post when they have lots of space. That's my take on that. I didn't play football as a professional, but I see it.
You see it. You see the gap. Right. You see the gap, and Jesus sees the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes, and he shoots it on that side. And we see a gap between the goalkeeper's feet and the near post in both situations. The Martinelli chance on the weekend and Gabriel Jesus against Shaktar at home. And it's 23 games now, Stan, and this is one of the most expensive pieces of the jigsaw in terms of picking up a check at the end of every week. Gabriel Jesus.
As long as I don't hear people start saying, I think he's just lacking confidence. I hate that. I hate that phrase. Oh, he's just lacking a bit of confidence. Why? The manager obviously backs him. He's supposed to be one of the leaders of the team. He's getting paid good wage. He's still getting opportunities. So I don't get it. I mean, it seems that I think that when he leaves Arsenal, and I think it will be sooner, he'll end up going back to Brazil. At his age. There's already talks about that, and for me, that's a step backwards. Brazilian players usually come out of Brazil at a young age of their prospect to get that and get in that European spotlight. And then when they make their name and they start getting, a little bit older, obviously at some point they'll want to go back to Brazil and maybe go back to their boyhood club to finish off. So if he's talking about and thinking about going back to Brazil within a year, that just shows you where he is. You know, he should be able to be given a lot more in a higher league than going back to Brazil. And I'm not saying that to diss Brazil. You know, they've got a good support, and I work with someone who's an avid Brazilian supporter for Botafogo, but they don't have that investment, right? So the standard of the league and throughout the team is not as competitive.
I also think
I don't know what's going on with this guy, man.
We will find it hard to recoup that money if he's going to go back to Brazil. The amount of money we paid Man City for that player.
I'm not going to get that money back. And say hi to Beijing Gunner.
Nope, not all of it.
Yeah.
Beijing Gunner,
Saying,
welcome to the show.
My dad's Beijing, so
nice. Mr. Howell, indeed.
Yeah.
He's stealing a living right now, BX Gunner says. He's not prioritizing and aiming for what we need, which is a good goal scorer or creator.
I always say first you say it, then you do it, right? He said he's not a good scorer, and guess what he did? He did exactly that. I mean, he...
what are the kids calling it?
The thing is, like, he's got so many good attributes about his game, right? And he gets back. I've seen him getting back into the midfield and digging in with the team. He's not one of those strikers that just hangs around to get the ball. He gets back and can get in. And I've seen him set players off on a run by doing that, getting the ball in the midfield, turning. He does so many good things. He's got some really good nimble footwork at close quarters in the box. You know, he can get around. But it's the finishing part. It's just so bad.
He's always been bad. I don't think he's ever improved, Stan.
It's either over the bar. It's either past the post, you know?
Yeah.
Or straight at the keeper. And you're like, fuck, man. I mean, it's not like he's 21, 22, and you're thinking, okay, it's going to come. He's up there now.
That's it. Yeah.
And I kind of think to myself, if that's not coming now, I don't know.
As Gary said,
Arsenal,
there's levels to this.
Arsenal wants to win the league. We want to win the league.
Yeah.
But
as Gary always says,
changing
the levels
a little bit. Nketiah at Palace, that's not happening at all, is it? Fuck.
No. I was thinking about that today. Has Eddie Nketiah really done anything? No. We got to bust that slot machine wide open this Sunday, lads.
I hope so. That sounds like a nice dream for me right now.
I truly believe it. I truly believe it as well. We're back in the position we were in February. I don't think it's as desperate a situation as Paul Merson wants to characterize it as, in saying it's if we don't beat Liverpool on Sunday, that's it. We're not going to catch them. Well, if Liverpool beat us on Sunday, we're 7 points behind them. It will be a tall task, but not insurmountable in October. You know, it's better to be 7 behind in October than 5 behind in February, in my opinion.
Yes.
Think about it. About it.
Well, yeah, but like the fact of the matter is, we have a really tough stretch coming. So it's Liverpool, Newcastle, and Chelsea, right? So we don't want to have this win one, lose one type approach here. We need to be on a string of wins, and we're not even doing that.
November is crazy, Gary. November is crazy.
Yeah, and we have like I think those are all away matches, Newcastle and Chelsea.
5 out of 6,
and we play Inter and whatever, and we've got a lot of
Inter in between. Newcastle, Inter, Chelsea. I think Nottingham Forest is in there somewhere as well.
And we're not even near full strength, right? So we don't even know if we will be, when we'll be full strength. Not even full strength, but near full strength again, right?
I don't even know the full extent of our injuries. But between all three of us, I think we'll talk it out in the chat box. They'll get involved as well. We need to look like Real Madrid in the second half of their games. And I think Mikel Arteta has characterized the onslaught of the red cards and the buildup of fatigue within the squad, combined with injuries, is making some of our performances look lethargic. You know
But
what I
that's
mean?
we talked about rotation. We talked about rotation in different
He's got
areas,
the
especially
opportunity.
as a center back. We said that we're going to have to rotate those center backs at some point because we can't depend on them to play every game. We saw it break down 2 seasons ago, right? And Saliba got the red is it got the penalty in the box or whatever, and I kind of felt like those are little like signs to tell you, look, you need to be able to have an answer when your guys can't go, right? When they
Yeah,
can't go, you need to have somebody else to put in there in the spot. And guess what? Right now we have nobody we can put in behind Saliba because one, they don't even get to play. They need to play, but they don't get to play. And
yeah.
that's when you know you don't have a good squad,
Um,
right? If Gabriel were to get injured or something like that, then we're down. We could be down. Think about it. If Gabriel and Saliba were down for the Liverpool match, we're in trouble,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is Timber available?
Kivior and Timber,
It's unknown at this
something
point.
like that.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
let's
unknown
Timber
if
and Ben White.
It's unknown if
All
Saka
right.
is available. You know.
let's talk. So I have it on good authority. That Bukayo Saka was held back from Tuesday night, so he's ready. He will be ready for Sunday.
I hope-
Bukayo Saka.
yeah.
So you may as well put him in your predicted lineup here. Bejan Gunnar is asking Gary, and you must respond with your predicted lineup.
Well, if Saka is going to play, we're going to have Saka,
Who's available first?
Havertz, and Martinelli up
who's
top,
not
right?
available?
Who's not available? You got any ideas? So,
Well, think about it. Think about this. Saka's available.
Don't choose Tommy Asu.
Havertz, and Martinelli are up top, right?
got it. That's mine.
Rice and Partey will start, right?
Yep.
That third player, who would it be? Is
Trossard.
Moreno is it or Trossard, right?
For me,
Depending on where you
Trossard.
go. So Trossard, so that gets like
Right.
a midfield and the top done, right?
That's
Reyes
it's
in
easier
goal.
to do it this way.
Reyes in goal, good.
Yep.
Gabriel, good. The next
Yep.
3 spots,
Timber, White.
White.
Right.
See, I
supposedly-
think we're going to go with that 4-4-2 again. I think
Well,
the
White's
formation will be that 4-4-2.
Yeah, it could work that way, Stan. 4-4-2 for sure.
Trossard and Havertz, or Havertz and maybe Gabriel Jesus if Saka's going to be on the right hand side.
Saka's going to play.
Then maybe Jesus and Havertz at the top. And that
Jesus is
4-4-2
going to sit on the
format.
bench. Jesus is going to come on late for me. All right, who's your back line, Stan?
Well, I think he's going to go with that 4-4-2 formation.
Right, who's your defenders?
It doesn't
I don't know
matter
who's
whether it's
available,
4-4-2 or
Who's available?
4-3-2-1. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who it is. Just pick the back line for me.
I don't know who's available. Is Ben White available?
Gabriel
Is he
is
available?
available. Ben
Yeah.
White was supposedly taken out for rest
Let's
Okay,
say
well,
Ben
Gabriel-
White.
because he had a yellow. So the
Yeah.
right hand side should be sorted. Yeah.
Is Timber available?
Yes.
Then I'd
said
have
that.
Timber at right.
I'm pretty
I'd have Timber at
confident.
right back.
Mm.
Timber
Left
at right back.
Left back.
No, I'd have Timber at right back, and I'd
Okay.
have Gabriel Megalegs in his position, and in Saliba's position, I'd go with Ben White.
Okay. Give me your left back.
Who's available at left back? Tommy Asu's not available. Calafiori's not
Kivior.
available. Either
Zinchenko
Kivior or
Kivior.
Zinchenko.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Kivior.
Yeah.
I think
That's what I would go with.
Okay.
That's what
Now,
that's what I would go with.
Who's your left side? What's on your left side?
Left back.
Zinchenko. Unfortunately.
You are no. Please
Oh, Kivior.
take that back.
Kivior is
take,
Zinchenko. It has to be
take
one
that
of them.
back. We're not playing Zinchenko.
Or-
We know what's
or
going to happen
Kivior.
there.
One of them two. It has
We're
to be
not
one of
Lies
them
playing
two.
excuse.
Zinchenko. I mean,
You
That's
accuse
just
me of
asking
playing
for
with
trouble.
fire, Gary.
that's asking for trouble. We've seen it too many times for it to. Oh wait, he's going to come back. His first
Who
game.
else is there?
His first game since the last time he started will be against Salah. Yeah,
Salah.
we're just.
Well,
Why
Salah.
would you do that? Why would you? Why would
Who
you?
else
punish
is there?
us?
There's
Why
no
would
one
you punish
else.
Zinchenko? No, you
I
can't.
know what Stan
Dan,
wants to do.
Take it back.
Stan
Take it
wants
back.
I'm
to
giving
do-
you two. I'm giving
No,
you
you
two.
know,
I
you
mean,
no. Take
there's
that.
no one
Take
else.
that one off the table. Take it back.
So you'd go with Kivior ahead of Zinchenko.
Take
Yeah.
it. Yes. No
Yeah.
way is that guy
Okay,
going to play.
okay, fair enough. For me, there's not much in it. Between them
There's
two,
not.
for me, there's not really that much in it.
They're both not good options.
No.
You know what I mean? I'd rather play
Because
Saka at left.
for me,
I'd rather play
Kiwior's playing out
Saka
of
at left
position.
back. I'll play Saka at left back. If I
There's obviously
really,
Tony at left back.
you know what I've heard, and I believe this is all. This
Tony at
should
left
be an option, but Arteta is not like that. Rice should play center back.
Oh
No.
no, I
He
don't
can
like
do
the
it.
sound of that.
He can do it.
You can do it
But
better than with
it's
some of the options we have.
I don't know.
I
You're
don't mind him
asking a
doing it. I
midfielder
don't
to
mind
play
doing it against
offside.
someone like Preston.
You're
I
asking a
don't mind him
player
doing
who's
it against
versatile
someone
to
like
play.
Preston, but
You
a
just
game like
started
this-
this show talking about all these versatile players. I give you one, and then you get upset with it.
I didn't.
You
Okay,
said versatile.
Gary, take that
You
back.
said versatile.
Take that back.
I'm not taking that back.
Take it back.
That's one of our leaders on our
Take
squad.
that
He's
back.
versatile, right?
Nah.
Like I said, Saka could play left back in a pinch if we needed it, right?
Mm.
I wouldn't want to do it, but that's what This is what you have to do.
Or
create
Skelly.
things like
Skelly
this.
at left back. Skelly.
I'll take
he plays
Skelly.
all
I'll
sorts
take
of
Now, he's
Skelly.
a
You know what?
player.
Not
The
about
only,
him.
the only problem people
about
have with
him.
that is if Salah takes him to school, then you might have lost him for the season. That's what people think.
Wow. Listen, what I feel is if Mo Salah beats
Kelly?
the left back, I feel if Mo Salah beats the left back, your left centre back needs to be the next person close to your left back.
You leave
Mega
yourself
legs.
wide open in the middle. We've seen that's a problem.
Yeah, but Salah is the biggest danger in this game. Mo Salah is the biggest danger.
How many
I'll
of
take
these
my
how
chance.
many of these like not so good players have beaten us through the middle?
I
Many.
will take my chances with Nuno, with what his name is, Darwin Núñez. I will take my chances with Darwin. I will take my chances with Gakpo. But Mo Salah cannot be allowed to score or assist in this game. And what will be, I must win game for Arsenal. That's what it's going to be characterized as. I happen to think a draw would not be the worst result in the world, but we want to win these games.
No, there's none of
against
that. We
Liverpool.
can't do that anymore, Ray.
We can't. We dropped too many points. I agree with you.
We
I agree.
there's
Got
no
set
more
them
like
up.
we can take a draw in a game at home. We're at home. If we're not trying to win games at home, when are we trying to win games?
No, definitely we're going to try and win this game.
Think
And
about it.
Nick
If this was City coming into playoffs, we should be be trying to win that. We know we have to win that game. This is
Mikel has said as well, the boys will be ready and you'll get a better performance on Sunday.
I hope he fires them up, but
on
it's
Tuesday.
Arteta.
And the thing is,
If we
the
win-
players do
if we win-
generally respond to Mikel Arteta. It's not Ten Hag, where they're getting an insipid performance. If we have a disappointing result, the players generally come back. Stan, it's been a couple of years since we talked about 3 losses in a row.
Yeah, I don't like those 3 losses in a row that we used to have. But
Right.
if we win this game, we put down the marker and everyone else is like, oh, hello. They're still in it.
Yep.
There's still a problem. But if we get rolled over, for the
likelihood-
mentality as
You
well.
gotta
We've been able to go against Liverpool now. They've not. There was a time when they were a problem, right? They were a mountain to climb. But over the last couple of seasons, we've been able to give as good as we get from Liverpool.
Yep.
So if that doesn't happen now, I don't like to use the word. It could be a bit of a backslide,
Unbeaten in 2 seasons against Liverpool in the league.
Exactly. That's
Unbeaten.
what we have to maintain that. Not to maintain that. That's not progress, is it? That's not
Yeah,
progress.
no.
So
And we're in a situation where, listen, I'm talking win here. We've dropped too many points to not accept anything but wins, because we need to hit at the halfway point, Gary. We need to hit 40, something like 46, 47 points at the halfway point in the season. We have 8 games played. We have 11 left to gather approximately 27 to 30 points out of 33. So we don't have a lot of margin for error in this first half of the season in the league. BX said, it's crazy how I've gone from being confident against City to being cautious and not sure about Liverpool. This is going to be It's going to be a long season.
Well, I've been saying this a lot too, right? It's just we got to take one game at a time. We got to try and win this game, win the first half of this game, win the second half of this game coming up. We can't look too far ahead, you know.
Yeah.
We have to win this game by all means necessary, all right? So we're gonna have to put everything into this game. Arteta, it's nothing to say. What are we saving for?
Mhm.
Right? You win this. You put, like you said,
Back in it.
you put down. Everybody goes. You know what? They might be down a lot of men, but they still got a lot of they got a lot of fire in them, and that's the one thing we haven't shown enough of. We when we're at our when we have our first 11, yeah, we can play with anyone, and we know we're not out of a game. Guess
And
what?
we
Now we need the same fire from our squad players. They need to think they can win this game. If they go into this game thinking, you know, a draw is okay, guess what's going to happen? They're going to lose. Right? I always say, you got to, like I always say all the time, shoot for the stars, hit the moon. Right?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, we get a draw, but we need to be trying to win this thing.
Yeah. And
last, we had a bad game. We draw. That's kind of how I need to look. That's how we need to look at this thing.
yeah. What was I going to say? We have a good team. Looking at the team we can put on the field, we got no problem putting forwards on the field. We got no problem putting in the midfield. We can do 3 out of 4 defensive spots. We're going to carry one player in this lineup on Sunday. We're going to be carrying one player, whether that's Kivior or Zinchenko, we don't know. But we're going to have to ensure against the capabilities of these players, because Mo Salah is going to have to be watched at all times.
I have a question, right? Do you think
yeah.
Hyde's going to score a goal? He's our striker. Right?
Yes.
His job is to score, right?
Yes.
Do you think he's going to get a goal?
Yes.
Okay.
You can come back to me on next Thursday.
His job is
or Sunday
to score. I mean,
come back to me right after the game, Stan.
For me, at the moment, there's only one person I'd put my money on to score goals, and it's Saka. And I think we need
Saka
to have more than that. You know, if I'm going to put my money down, I don't see many other options. I know that we can nick goals here and there, but there's no one. You know, there's no one that looks like they're in a rich vein of form.
Martinelli's starting to come back to us. Martinelli's starting to come back to us.
I hope so. I really hope
Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans are definitely scared of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. The pace they have on the wings can hurt them, and Liverpool fans know it. Kai Havertz will be there, hopefully with Trossard. We know he's not going to go in one area. He wouldn't play him against Shaktar. He's surely not going to play him against Liverpool. It's going to be Trossard and Havertz. So we have very, very good players in the forward positions. Trossard did not have a good game on Tuesday. He's bound to rebound. Martinelli, I think Martinelli's confidence will have been boosted. There we go.
We're more likely to score from a set piece. And again, I don't know. I don't want to be that team. Do you know? I'm glad that we score goals. I'm glad that we have that in our last.
People make it seem like that's all we do.
It's win by all means.
We've only scored twice from a set piece this season. It's not our bread and butter.
Okay, Tottenham and City.
It's not our bread and butter. We put a lot of pressure on teams with it, but that's not how we score goals.
Bejan Gunnar said we've lost one game in about 6 months. The fan base have absolutely lost their heads. It's wild. Arsenal fan base is so sensitive. It was a performance combined with the refereeing performance, which exasperated what happened at Bournemouth as well. We won't be at full strength until Odegaard gets.
And I say it all the time, right? It's not necessarily like I take performance over results any day, all right? Because I can depend on performance. I can't depend on us to get lucky that we're going to score a goal, right? Think about that. If our performance was better in our Champions League game, we win 2-0, all right? Our performance was not, and we got lucky. The ball bounces off a goalkeeper's back and goes in, and we get the win, right? So the result is great, but the performance was not so good. You can be consistent with performances. You can't be. Sure. You can't get lucky every damn time.
Performance was not good, but we created enough chances to maybe win.
That was easy.
3-0.
But your performance means you need to be clinical when you have opportunities to score. We're not that either. That's where the performance comes in,
Wow.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
the performance also is, your general play. There must have been a lot of losing the ball in midfield, things like that. Saka better be ready. He's in my fantasy football league. So I think Saka will play on Sunday. I have no idea who will be in the lineup because we don't know who is actually fit. This is true. And this is why maybe we are in a dip in our season. What if this is our dip in the season where we're dropping a few points and we get stronger from this point on in the season?
well,
We get
that's why we need.
Odegaard.
That's why it needs to be a win. Then that's the only way this is going to
Mhm.
show that we're turned. We've changed. We've turned the corner. We've turned the corner. Right. We get a win in this game because we're going to need to. We need to get one of those types of wins where you're like, I didn't. Go, a lot of people going in are like, I don't think we can win this. This is the game we need to do that, and this is a big one. It's a 6-pointer, right?
100%.
Takes us from four
And
back, right? We're four back now. It takes us to one back off the top, right? And if City, were to fumble, we're still, we're right where we want to be, right?
so when we play Liverpool on Sunday, uh, Aston Villa, Chelsea, and Brighton will have played their games. Man
Yeah.
City will have played the games.
Could be
We
six going into this
we
game.
could be sixth or seventh, depending on what happens. And a win would bring us back into third place where we would start the weekend. But it would be cutting Liverpool back to a 1 point deficit. Man City probably win their game and they take 23 points. Liverpool will then take 21 and we'll be sitting on 20. So hopefully by the end of Sunday's game, we will have recovered our situation, our deficit against Liverpool, and recovered what happened at Bournemouth as well. Welcome, Tony.
Hello.
Hello.
Gary talking shit about not being able to shoot his normal routine.
Well, you're saying the damn same thing, even though you think we have the talent to do it. I'm like, the talent don't mean anything if they can't hit the mark.
Just shoot the damn ball. It's not hard.
They are. They're just terrible at
Well,
it.
I think we're going to see a performance on Sunday to be sure.
But without Saka and whatever left.
Saka will be back. Bukayo
No,
Saka
he's
will be
not.
back.
Arteta said no.
Like I said before, said Moss, seen 3 different eras where we get so good. And the fear and the hate comes.
Tony was on a Zoom call with him earlier.
You really?
Tony,
You
switch
switch his insurance around with Mikel Arteta insurance company. Miles Skelly needs to play left back. The young blood is ready. Wenger, now Arteta Arts, they've given us red cards. Any chance to get?
I'll tell you how I feel this game is so important. Is that right now, and I really hate to be this guy, and you know that I'm not pessimistic on a regular basis or anything, but I think at this moment we're going to be lucky to finish 4th or 3rd.
It looks that way right now.
That's where I think we're at the moment. We're still in with a top 4 shout. 4th or 3rd,
48.
I'm not sure, but I don't think we ain't
72.
winning it. We're not winning it, and I don't think we're going to be challenging for it. However, if this team manages to show me something on Sunday and we convincingly beat Liverpool, I'll be more than happy to readjust that. That's what I think this game is for me. And it's only the 9th game into the season, but I think that really is for me where we are.
Do you
if
think
we
it's
go
make
out
or
there
break, Ben?
and convincingly take 3 points in a convincing
It's
manner,
definitely make or break.
but if not, I think 4th, man, maybe 3rd. And I hate to be that guy, but I'm not feeling it. I just look at the squad. I just look at the way that Mikel Arteta is using some people. As somebody in the chat box mentioned earlier, if Martin Odegaard does come back slightly ahead of schedule, then the opportunity for Wenyari to have had some minutes is going to be slightly wasted.
It's gone. Yeah. It's gone.
You know.
When we
And as well, Martin Odegaard's not going to come back in immaculate form. He's going to have to find his way again, right? So he's not going to come back as a tip-top Odegaard. He may come back and have a few nightmares in the games, right? Because he's been out for a while. He's got to get back up to speed. So I'm concerned. I think hopefully we can limp through to January and then try and make some kind of a move in January for help. But as you know, right, when it comes to January, and if you want to buy a player from another club and he's one of their big players, it's all got to be done nice and quickly so that they can get a replacement, because they've got their own battles and their own fires to put out as well in their league, right?
Yeah.
So January can be a little bit complicated.
Yeah, and generally we have not been. Listen, we picked up Trossard, we picked up Kivior. We've done some nice business in January's.
But again, Trossard was one of those where. But Trossard was in the situation where it suited. That was an opportunity, right? He'd fallen out of graces at Brighton. They didn't want him. We came in with a safety net. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing links to Paul Pogba over the last couple of days, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Listen, I feel what you're saying. We could be as low as 6th or 7th in the table if we don't win on Sunday, and we stay 6th or 7th in the table. So that's why it's important on Sunday to put a performance in. The team we can put out will be a strong team. Looking at what we.
Saka won't be there unless Arteta is playing poker, and I don't think he's playing poker.
He always lies about his team, doesn't he? He never talks nothing.
Bukayo Saka has been held back from the Tuesday night's game in readiness for Sunday.
He sat there in his tracksuit, wasn't he?
Yeah. They held him back. Martinelli's come back.
Who's your left back, Ray? Who's your left backs?
Timber or Kivior?
Right. Usually, if you're injured, you still have. It's like a thing where if you're injured, you go to home games. But it was interesting that Saka wasn't set up in the. Usually, they're set up in the stands, right? If they're injured badly, they're up in the stands. They've got their casual clothes on with their wife and a few friends. But I think wasn't he sat in his like training outfit and stuff?
With his girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah, near the team, right?
Yes, and Odegaard was there as well. Yeah, obviously he's going to be out for a few more weeks.
Ray, do you have your notebook with you?
Yeah.
Is it a Menudo one?
No.
Can you go back to our season predictions?
No, I can't.
Oh, why not?
That's not part of the agenda.
Not
part of my agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just for everybody's information, Tony picked Arsenal to finish third.
Okay. Good to know. White, Timber, Gabriel, then Miles, Lewis, Skelly, Kivior for left back. I would go Timber left back and Kivior in Gabriel's spot, and I would actually slide Gabriel to Saliba's slot. That's what I would do with the team. Yeah, I know I'm moving things around, right? But I'm moving things around. But you need to move things around.
That reminds me of like when you see like the 3 cups with a P underneath, and you go, you got to find the P. It's too much moving around, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Gabriel Megalink is one of our best players. Why weaken him by putting him in that other position? Keep him there. If he can play there, he plays there, right? You know, he's one of the best players for the position. So you have to put something else.
I know.
We're weak anyway. By moving him, that makes us weaker.
Yeah.
To accommodate something. Do you know what I'm getting at?
I got you.
There's no need.
Ray.
Ben White needs to play right back. Saka needs that overlapping run so he can cut in and shoot. So Declan Rice at right centre back and Timber or Lewis Skelly at left back. Yeah. Arteta needs to learn that when you attack with both fullbacks, you need players dropping back to fill the holes. WHOL, yes, okay. Or better yet, play with a back three. That was from Missile Dropkick Wrestling Talk Show.
Who's that idiot?
Is a new viewer, yeah.
Oh, sorry,
You
did I
do
say
that.
that out loud? I'm sorry.
Who is that idiot?
Ray, that I have no idea who that is.
Of course. You created it when you were flying high
No,
in the
I wasn't.
sky.
I have
All
my
right.
own. I have my own TV show now. YouTube show.
Because on TV show.
Good evening, everyone. It's the Tony Turner Show. And tonight's special guest.
It sounds like a game show, Stan.
Do you know what would be do you know what would be better?
Hogan.
I love a bit of Tony. I love a bit of Bully. I love a bit of Bully at night.
Do you know a better name, Stan? For
what?
the show?
The Missile
Uh,
Dropkick Wrestling Talk Show.
No, for Tony Turner. It's Tony Fistpants. Your old buddy from school.
Oh, yeah. That's another story.
Ray, do you know the worst?
This sounds like a train wreck. I just
do you know the worst thing I read on Twitter this week, Ray?
You're opening up the playbook now. Go ahead.
Worst thing I read: Party as right back. Fucking idiots.
Who was right back?
Partey.
Okay. Oh,
That could happen. That could
Could
happen.
happen.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That could happen.
I mean, it's more plausible than playing one area in the creative attacking midfield role. Yeah, Mikel, I would like you to start using more of your squad and start giving them some meaningful minutes. You see Pep Guardiola doing this. There's meaningful players on the bench, and they come on in the second half.
We used to think because he was a disciple of
Arteta will learn that in his next job, right?
Yeah.
One thing nobody is taking into account is that this is not Klopp's Liverpool. They look much better at the back than previously in the games I've seen them play. Good comment, Stephen, because I have a note here. What I'm seeing from Arne Slot is he's done very much what Arsene Wenger did. He came in, he looked around and realized he's got a pretty decent set of players, and he hasn't changed too much about the team. He hasn't upset the apple cart. So he's tweaked one or two things. There's one or two players that are a little bit out of favor. Darwin Núñez has been one of those, and he might actually play. I think Jota's injury has brought that in, but this is a slightly different Liverpool, still the same players, but slightly different Liverpool team.
They've been winning games, but they haven't looked convincing to me. They haven't
Correct.
looked convincing.
I agree with that, Stan. Yeah, definitely.
Ray, when is Liverpool fan circle coming?
So listen, many of you might think this is my favorite part of the season when Arsenal and Liverpool collide. You know what I mean? But I'm a firm Arsenal supporter. All of the rumors about me are untrue, Stan and Gary. Very untrue.
I've seen your half and half scarf.
Very untrue. Look. This does not say Liverpool.
The Liverpool one's outside that you actually kick around.
Yeah, so Stan, you're correct. I think Liverpool have always played that way, though, right? They lean into what they're good at in terms of attacking football, and they're scoring goals. Right now, they just happen to be pretty good defensively, but I think we can change that on Sunday.
But also as well for Liverpool in their attacking part of their team, they have a lot more variety than we have. If things aren't working for them, there's always something that can come off the bench and someone that can move into another position. They've got so much more variety than Arsenal. And I'm kind of shitting myself a little bit before this fixture because it's so important. Because I don't want us to be sitting here saying that I think we're going to be finishing fourth, maybe third at this point in the season. But that's just how I feel. And I'm praying that they can show me something. I tell you what, that game that we defended with 10 men and almost won against City, they showed me something that day. It was just so unlucky that we couldn't see it out. It was so close, man.
Yeah.
So I know that there's something in this team. I know that there is something about them. There is character in there. Because there have been times when I thought myself, yeah, this is done. This is done. And they've gone out and shown character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just hope that they've got the mental application, that they're not burning themselves out, because everybody looks like they're really on the edge.
Yeah.
That they really, because we finished twice now, the last 2 seasons, it's like this season for everybody, it's like it's time to shit or get off the pot. Do you know what I mean?
Get over
I just hope that there's I don't want it to be, have some fun.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? Don't be too like on the fucking intense and
what's that? You just said you're going to be tense. You just said you're going to be tense.
Yeah, but I don't play for them. I'm allowed to be tense. I'm watching this shit. You know what I mean? But when you're doing this shit, you know what I mean? I want them to be able to express themselves and play their game and you know?
If you're too tense, you can't do the shit. If you're relaxed, you can do the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stop giving the referees opportunities to go by the book and apply the rules and apply the letter of the law. Let's just stop that shit. Let's stop trying to pull people down. Let's stop trying to grab shirts. When the referee blows the whistle, let's fucking not kick it out. When we've got a throw in, let's throw it in quickly. Let's not let the goalkeeper take too much time getting rid of the ball so that he can't get done for time wasting. We've really got to play the game as best as we can within the rules and not give them a chance to over-ref us.
Well,
you know
what's the next thing? What's the next thing we're going to do that we're going to be?
If we ever get bad decisions, let's not all crowd around the referee like everyone else does, but don't get booked for it. But as soon as we do it, there's going to be 3 cards come out. Let's try and be like not give them any opportunity.
Yeah. So I think Tony, I think Stan is saying when you're relaxed, you can do the shit.
I think you two have said shit way too many times.
Is shit a bad word?
Shit's a bad word when you have pros, right? When your guts are just pouring out of you.
You know what? Whatever you just said, that's worse than what the bad words. All right, Tony.
Yeah. My record is shitting 36 times in one day. So
you know what?
Okay.
This is why you know what I was trying to stop that from happening.
Information.
And you guys took the bait, and now you see what you did.
It was Ray. Ray said Tony knows. Ray said Tony knows.
Tony, well, you're unsolicited information.
Time out.
Ray, you set me up.
In the
sin bin. Off you go. There you
go. Too much.
Jesus, time to regroup. What's going on there?
We'll give him a 2-minute timeout.
Time out. Right. How'd you follow that?
He's giving me two fingers. One. What are the middle fingers on each hand? What does that mean?
I hope they're clean fingers.
Arteta said no Saka this weekend. Tony, I'll bring you back in 90 seconds, okay?
Oh man. You guys created that nonsense.
Go check the
Why you let him into your show? Now you're complaining about him. You let him in.
I remember once upon a time, Gary, when he would give you yes or no answers. And sometimes you wouldn't get a yes or a no.
Exactly. And see what you now.
Now he's a raging inferno. I'd like Arteta to be a little bit more daring in his squad selection. A Tony timeout.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to be adventurous for the Liverpool game and put in Wanyeri.
Sponsorship.
Marino. Do you know what I mean? He can think big games. He's going to go with the name. Maybe he comes off the bench I don't. I would have a heart attack if you have to see him on the starting lineup. You know, you think of some of the fixtures that we've had up until now, which could have eased him in. He's going to put him in now against Liverpool. Such a big game. You know, I don't see it. So,
Yeah. All right, we'll bring him back in. There he goes. Mexico for a month. For Tony. All right. Gary's glasses look CGI.
Yeah, new sets of glasses. Yeah.
I haven't seen that side of the world. Yeah. Yeah, listen, I think this Liverpool team under Arne Slot, and they're a very hardworking team, and they're they're in the first phase of their being together. I think at some point the hard work goes away and we start to see what this team looks like defensively. Right now, Liverpool fans will say we've been told we didn't play very many of the bigger teams. They took care of Chelsea, and I think they scored their goals in opportune times against Chelsea. They've beaten Leipzig in much the same way as Arsenal beat Shakhtar. Took their chance and got out of there. Not the best performance, but they got a win.
Yeah, but right.
Yeah.
You go to extra time. Reyes saves that. If not, we're fucked with that 1 point.
Correct. I mentioned that at the start of the podcast. If you,
I was busy switching fucking insurance, and apparently takes 70 goddamn minutes. I thought I could do it in 30, but no.
Yeah. So listen, we have called out David Raya. Here's one thing I want to do is like for all four of us to pick the best 6 players so far for Arsenal after 10, 11, 12 games.
Gabriel
Jesus?
No. Mega legs.
All right, I'm going to put the first one forward. David Raya. I think he's been one of our best players so far this season.
Except for last weekend. He was shit. He was shit last weekend.
I'm going to pick a 6 aside. David Raya was not at fault for anything last weekend.
He was
Really?
I don't think our goalkeeper was the reason we lost last. No.
See, Tony doesn't want his boy Kivior to come under any kind of flack.
He was poor. Who was the one kicking it out from the back? It was fucking Raya. Raya looked sloppy. Raya screwed up for Spain. Same with another one of our players.
David Raya has been...
Saliba screwed up for France and came up and screwed up for Arsenal.
David Raya has been one of our best players this season.
So Saliba cost us 6 points, right? Because you'll find out when we lose Sunday.
Oh boy, why is he
on the show? Is an Arsenal fan. I believe he's an Arsenal fan. Stan, who's been after David Raya? Who's been your next one of your stars this season?
Megalegs.
Gabriel, I've got him in the short list. Yeah, Gabriel Megalegs. He's held things together at the back, and
I mean, just the amount of goals he scores. I mean, he holds the record that since he's been playing in the Premier League.
Yeah,
other centre back scores more goals than him, and primarily when you buy a centre back, that's not what you're looking for. So, to be as good as he is in the defence, and to be able to go up to the other end and weigh in with the goals that he weighs in with, that's gold dust. So that's that's priceless.
Yeah. So far, I think it's 12 games this season we played, Gary. We got David Raya, we got Gabriel. Who would your next nomination be, Gary?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that again?
One of our best players.
No, the list that you already have.
David Raya and Gabriel Megalegs.
Who is our next player?
Yeah. Who's been one of our
order, but who do you
Bukayo Saka?
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka, of course. Yeah.
Basically our leading player in terms of goal contributions.
Assist maker.
Without him, we're not scoring, and without him, you can see how we play. Not good.
Be looking pretty bad without him, wouldn't we? David
they call him
Raya
a
would have a
talisman.
lot more work. Huh?
I said, I believe they call him a talisman.
Talisman.
He's
All
our,
right.
he's our
And
talisman. Right?
is Tony our talisman, Stan?
He's more of our voodoo doll.
Our ventriloquist.
Hey, I gotta get my words in there when I can,
I could see him as a
especially with Stan
no.
and Gary.
I could see him as a
He's our rabbit.
ventriloquist.
He's our lucky rabbit's foot. Our monkey paw.
All right, Tony. Tony, who does your ventriloquist say is the next best Arsenal player so far this season?
I want to say one because I know he'll get left out, but I'll probably go with another one that will actually get played.
Okay, who is it going to be?
My pick would be Waneri, but I'll pick the guy that I'll fucking shoot the TV if he's ever in the midfield again. That would be Mr. Kai.
Kai
Cobra Kai.
Havertz. All right, listen, I'm glad you're playing the game.
Fuck that guy if he's ever in midfield. I'll run out there and fucking take a crowbar game.
Do not do that thing to your TV that you see other people doing.
He's so goddamn shitty in the midfield. And it took Arteta 2/3 of a season to figure that out.
All right. We have a good...
We could have won the league if fucking Arteta wasn't stubborn and put him up for fucking...
Yeah, I think part of that last season was understanding what the player can give us, you know?
Yeah, but you don't think, Ray, that we could have won the league if he was playing as striker for more than
I definitely
a third
do.
of the season?
I definitely do think so. Well, we would have won the league if
thank God Jesus got.
If Kai Havertz had betted in earlier in the season, then he's playing at home to West Ham, maybe, and he's playing away to Fulham up front. I'm not even sure of where he played in those two games, but those are two games that we lost across Christmas and New Year's. You know,
Ray, where do we finish if Jesus didn't get injured?
I don't know. You tell me.
It would be at least third or fourth.
All right, we have Raya, we have Saka, we have Havertz, we have Gabriel. Stan, we need two more candidates. You and Gary.
I'm going to go with a player that for so long now has been a little bit disappointing to me, who I felt that we should have been getting more from. But so far this season, they're managing to hold together, not fall to pieces, and returning back from international duty in one piece. Thomas Partey. Playing some nice football at the moment. Important, holding things together, you know. Just hope that can continue.
And we've come to understand that
very good performances this season.
We've come to understand that Mikel Arteta values him highly as well. Now that he has, knock on wood again, put a run of games.
He's a player that I think needs rhythm and runs of games, but because of his injury, he's never been able to find his rhythm, has he? Gets injured, comes back, and he's out again. And, you know, and in those few games when he is back, he's still finding his rhythm. So it's all about handling this guy with oven mitts and making sure that we know when it's time to take him out.
I would really
play him as right back again.
I would really love to have him be part of a team that wins some trophies this season. So you always feel bad for a player who leaves the club and hasn't quite realized, like Emile Smith-Rowe, he hasn't quite realized the medals that he could have had at Arsenal. You know, a player like that. So we want Partey to finish out his career at Arsenal, and you know we can't be but a season or two away from Partey leaving the club and picking up a medal or so. Okay, so Partey's not a bad shout there in terms of rhythm. He's been quite important this season. All right, Gary, who's your sixth and final choice, Gary?
Did we already say Erdegaard?
No, but he hasn't played this season, so you couldn't really
He's dead.
put him forward.
What do you mean Martin hasn't played this
He's
season?
dead.
He hasn't played very much.
He's very
Yeah,
important.
apparently he's dead.
Oh,
Well,
you're saying
somebody
that
who's
played.
really contributed to the 12 games
Yeah. He's been so far.
this season.
He's been contributing.
Oh boy. It's
If
really hard.
you could also
Bit
pass
scarce, man.
over.
I'm with
Tony.
Gary. This is a difficult one.
You and
It's a
Tony
difficult
can
one.
I'm
confer.
not gonna give it to Tony. Why would I do that? That doesn't make no.
Because you
Give
think
him
about it, right? Martinelli's had a bad patch. He looks like he's coming into form. Declan Rice looked very leggy at the beginning when he came back from the Euros. You know, he's not been playing as the Declan Rice of last season.
To tell Gary, yes.
Trossard's
10
let us down,
seconds.
hasn't he?
Yes.
Trossard's been let
Nah.
us down.
I'm gonna go
Put
with
it on your
Rice.
phone.
I'm gonna go with Rice then. Yeah.
Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't count. It was four.
What about
It doesn't
Timber?
like count. I gave an answer.
What about a shout for Timber?
I didn't give no.
Timber
No,
hasn't played
I'm not listening. I'm not listening
What
to
about
you guys.
Trossard? What about
No,
Trossard?
I'm just saying.
No,
I'm just like
Rice for me.
putting in because it's the last spot. I'm just thinking, like, what about
Yeah.
Timber's got a possibility? You know,
Yeah.
I think.
Who?
He hasn't played enough.
not been
He's
bad.
dead, Stan.
Who has it?
He's
Who?
dead. He's
Who?
dead.
Right, Stan. What did you say?
I think Timber's, you know, when he's played has looked
Oh,
pretty decent.
Ooh.
And it's
Timber or
just, you know,
Rice?
Yeah, but has had a real impact on the season so far.
I think
Tim-
Timbers
Tim-
had more. Timbers had more of an impact than Rice. So I like that Timber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. You took both of Stan.
It doesn't matter what I want.
Timber hasn't
Why would I
fucking
listen,
played.
Tony? You wouldn't even
Timber's
listen to
dead.
you. So why would I listen to you?
Timber's been out chopping wood.
Tony's the adjudicator
No,
on the
no.
game show.
Timber.
Come on, don't
I
you
do-
like my pun there, Ray? I know you and Stan like puns.
This is
Timber's out
Tony's
chopping
TV
wood.
show. Now, come
Timber's
on. This
out
is Tony's
chopping
TV
wood.
show.
Timber's chopping wood.
That's the wrong answer, Gary. Tony has the answers.
No, we're not.
Father Tony has the answer.
We're not listening to him.
You're wearing black and you look like you have a dog collar there. Father Tony.
And
We're not
I
really
got a
seeing too much of
pocket.
Juninho either, have we? Not really seeing too much of Juninho, really, have we?
Jorginho, correct.
No.
Yeah, and
Not really seeing
that's
too much
kind of
him.
what I wanted to see Mikel Arteta rotate a little bit more and bring some of these players in. We had an opportunity against Southampton recently and Leicester City recently to do these kinds of things. And it's disappointing that we're kind of struggling against Bournemouth, and this game against Liverpool is deemed to be a tough game as well on Sunday. Knowing that we have to go to Newcastle and Chelsea and Inter Milan next month, it's going to get quite difficult in November as well. And with all that being said, and not wanting to overlook Preston North End in the Carabao Cup next midweek, we could stamp a place in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup as well, which is important in domestic cup to
Start one, Harry.
advance in the domestic. Well, Tony, I'm going to get very worried about one area if he can't start that game.
If he doesn't start against Preston, if he can't start against Preston,
about it.
that's the sort of game that you start Waneri in, and you also anybody who might be trying to get a bit of form, put them in that game as well.
Yeah,
someone that you're trying to sort of like, you know, who wants to tuck a couple of goals away, something, because you should be able to give him a humping. Really,
yeah,
you should.
Yeah. Bargav going to Mexico next month. Be safe. Hope you have a great time there, Bargav.
I'm going in December, Bargav.
You went in December. You're going again?
Yeah, I'm going again, man. Bargav, where are you actually going? I went to Tulum a couple of months ago, and this time I'm going to Playa Cana, I think it's called. Let us know where you're going.
Yeah. Okay, so the conversation about the top six, I had definitely Raya, Saka, Havertz, and Gabriel. They have been our mainstays this first 12 games of the season. I think
nobody picked the guy that just got the red card.
I've been this. I had him in 6th place, Tony Saliba.
Who?
I had Trossard and Saliba in 5th and 6th, but hand on heart, I couldn't argue with Rice, Partey, or Timber. Is what Stan and Gary.
Timber has not played
Yeah,
enough.
I think maybe revising it, because I don't know why Saliba slipped my mind. Maybe revising it. Saliba maybe pushes Timber by the tiniest of margins, like a cigarette paper, just because he's played more games regularly. If that makes sense.
Yep. Right now, I would
Timber good though. Timber's looked very good when he's played.
Wait, Saliba wasn't in the list?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
we
our.
forgot
It's
him, man.
just our it was on my list.
Yeah, you guys forgot him.
It was in my
I
list.
thought Saliba was already. All right, well then, yeah.
It was in my list.
Timber, innit? I put him in over Timber, Gary, just a bit, right?
No Timber, no Saliba, no Odegaard, no Calafiori, no Saka. Literally Arsenal's B team. What I would say right now in this first 12 games is I think the player of the year for Arsenal so far is between Bukayo Saka and David Raya. That's my take. Anyway. We want him to be more Saka than Raya, of course. Havertz is going to bag 4 goals. Don't worry, guys. There you go, Stan. You're going to get 4 goals on Sunday from Kai Havertz. Says Red John. Saka, Trossard, Havertz, Rice being last. I've been saying Saka is our talisman and that it is his team. Yeah. Saka, Arsenal have been carried by Bukayo Saka for seasons now. 3-4 seasons. Carried by Bukayo Saka.
He's been the most consistent player, I think, for us over the 3 seasons where we've this last 2+ seasons. So
and look at the money we spent on all the other players.
People spend a lot of money on players that don't pan out, Tony. It worked.
Yeah.
Look at City. They spent 100. They spent 100 mil on. They spent 100 mil on Grealish, and he's like can barely get off the bench. So it doesn't always work just because you spend money. The player works. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, because you got a bunch of other good players. So.
Yeah, that's why. That's why
it's not a high profile thing.
So, what is your point?
My point is, Arsenal was never to win anything unless they got somebody, $100 million player, 75 million, 50 million guy on the bench to come out.
Well,
you have to have that.
And the only way you can do that is if you get to the point where you're winning things with the players you got. That's not happening.
No, you don't.
What do you mean? No, you don't.
There.
You can't afford. You can't afford to just if you don't finish in top
we just
4.
Got 92 million for the Champions League. We can afford it, Gary.
Obviously, we can't because we didn't spend it, Tony.
Obviously, we can because our
maybe you don't know.
Arteta's Arteta.
Maybe there's more to it than just what you think. Maybe it's not just a 1-for-1. Maybe they got to pay back their debts, Tony.
Yeah, it was about recouping some money this summer.
They've lost a lot of money and a lot of players, right? Over the last since Arteta's been here, right? Think about it. Aubameyang lost money. Lacazette lost money. Ozil lost money. All these players, you lose money.
That's 4 or 5 years ago.
Tony, you're complaining about Arsenal not recouping any money from players in the last 4 or 5 years, and we start to do it. We start to do it this season, and you're complaining now again because we're trying to balance the books. I get it, Tony. I don't think Arsenal are ever going to have £100 million player sitting on the bench. It's just not going to happen. You'll see that at Man City. Will you see it at Arsenal? Anything's possible, but probably not in the next few seasons. You know what I mean?
You have one there. You get somebody else in defense or
on Sunday.
Send somebody else in the midfield, then you might get Rice
on Sunday.
bench.
Tony, on Sunday you have Zinchenko,
if we want
Mourinho, Jesus, and Sterling on the bench. Stan.
You said though, right? We've spent 100 million just over on Rice, and I think that going forward, if we want to compete, we're going to have to be spending 70, 80, 90 on players to get the quality to be able to compete. And there will be times when some of them may be on the bench, and that's how it should be.
There's still work to be done with this squad.
See, Stan agrees with me, Gary. It's not crazy.
It doesn't mean he's, dude. We're
a
not at that
squad,
point
not
yet.
11.
We're not at that point yet, Tony. We still. Do we have a legit starting 11 that's played most of the season? We don't.
No.
We're 3 years into this.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to City. It doesn't happen.
Most
to
teams
Liverpool.
have a solid 11 that's gonna get them stuff. We're not there yet. Even
City,
last year we didn't have it because Arteta
I can't name
out where to put, couldn't figure
City
out where to put Havertz, right?
Yeah. City have spent
We
100
needed a left
million.
back last season, right?
They spent close to
who
100
started
million.
We still had holes. We had holes last season.
Look at what City have done. They've spent close to 100 million for Guardiola. They've got Grealish, 100 million. They spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they've also Tony, they've also manipulated their income. They've also manipulated their. Are you trying to tell me they're a richer club than Real Madrid or a richer club than, Man United, a heritage club? But their reports are saying that they're the richest club in Europe. That's what they're saying. They're not the richest club in Europe. Newcastle. But the revenue they're generating as well, Stan. That's what they're saying.
Isn't it still crazy? Just think, one team, their owner is equal to 80% of the league. That's how much their 440 billion is.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Declan Rice playing in Saliba's position, and we played Jorginho in Rice's number?
I brought that up earlier, right? You guys said you didn't like it at all.
No.
I'm not a fan of it myself. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to put your best players on the pitch and play.
A midfielder as a defender.
A player who has played there.
It's
not. You're acting like he's never played there.
That's like you have
I just think that you just play your best players in your best position. So if Saliba is our best position in that slot and he's not there, by taking Declan Rice out, he's the best position in that position. So to take him out to put him in there, now we've got two positions where they're not the best. You know what I'm getting at? It's makeshift.
Supposedly Moreno should be able to cover for Rice. So then now tell me why that.
But he's not the best player in that position.
That's why you got Moreno, right?
Cover.
This is not a we're just filling one spot. We've got how many missing players?
We don't like the taste.
It's not a one in, one out. It's going to work.
We might have two positions.
We don't even have answers for that,
Gary.
Right?
We might have
we don't have an answer for Odegaard. We don't have an answer for Saliba.
This will be Moreno's third game, right? It's his third game. Yeah. He's not bedded in properly yet. He's still learning the Arteta way. Yep. And we'd be asking him to now play his third game in a third role. Because that would be his third different position that he's played in. He's not played in his
on the bench
yet.
We like I said, I'd rather have my better. Like at some point, you're gonna have to take those. You're gonna have to make that move because we don't have anybody on the back line that is. And for me, I'm more confident than Rice playing.
Ben White
Rice play anywhere for me.
Ben White's had a partnership.
No, we're talking about the other side of the other two positions. We don't have solid answers there.
Timber on the right,
and we still need a fourth player.
Kivior or
Declan Rice is better than Kivior.
Yeah, I know, but positionally,
and Moreno can play the midfield and play the similar to what Rice is being asked to do. That's why you brought him in. That's what he does for Spain.
I just think
he's been part of a team that won a Euros for Spain. Coming in and doing similar jobs to Rice. Now you're saying he can't do it, but he can win a Euro doing it, right? We've seen him do it. Come off the bench and do exactly what needs to be done. All right.
It's going to be interesting to
do that, right?
It's It's going to be interesting to see what
I don't
Mikel does in this game.
We got players that can
4-4-3.
start for us, you know.
Yeah. BX said he loves Kai, but he's not a natural striker and only learning how to step up into that role. He lacks a forward directness and killer
4-4-2.
instinct to
It's
be a
going to be
proper back.
4-4-2.
I don't know, BX. I think he could be. He's not a natural striker, but I think he has stepped into the role, and I think he does have a forward directness, and he does have a killer instinct.
He
Now,
does not have a
Bryce.
killer instinct. That's why when
Where's the price?
we have
Where's the Bryce?
when Stan says, "Where's that guy that's going to get you a brace and then follow it up
there's
with
the two.
another goal?"
Did you not see the
We
goal
don't.
that
That's
he
not
kicked
what he
last
does
season?
for us. So that's why
Did
we're
you
still
not see
missing
that
that
goal
player.
last
We don't
season?
have a Jota. All right, the Jota was Trossard, but we can't bring him off the bench. We have to start him for some reason. All right. So we've got all these players.
Gary.
We talk about playing players out of position. Trossard is our Jota, but we keep starting him. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're talking about players out of position, then Trossard is one player. He's one player. Definitely, he's playing out of position. He's better for us off the bench. He's shown he can do that. Starting for us, we lose everything that he offers for us, which is an energy off the bench. All right.
Nope, that is false,
But then
Gary.
I agree with Gary, right?
10
But then
games,
Trossard doesn't help
he's-
himself by banging on the manager's door and going, "Why are you starting me? Oh, I'm not happy." And then you start him, and you're like, you know, just know your role. Stay in your lane. He's brilliant coming off the bench.
Yes.
Just be happy with that.
Yeah.
Be happy with that.
Tony
Be the
has,
savior.
yeah,
To be the savior.
definitely. Tony has a rebuttal.
Our favorite Belgian. You can go in there and have some Belgian beer with him. Belgian
Kevin De Bruyne,
waffles.
Vincent Company,
No. And it's Trossard.
Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Trossard
Sam
started the last.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Trossard started.
Did he
I
start?
said
Was he
our,
forced?
dude.
Was he forced to start, or was he just part of our starting rotation? He's just a starter for us. No, he was forced to start, and it worked out. But he is not our starter. Just because he can do it doesn't mean he should.
Just because he can do it means he can fucking do it.
No,
Gary.
it doesn't. He's not a starter
He played
for
our
us.
last 10 games and scored 6 fucking goals.
He didn't
So-
start all those games.
what's
we
wrong
looked
with
at that.
that?
Remember, he didn't start
What's
every
wrong with
game.
that?
He didn't start all
What-
those games. Remember, we looked at that stat. He didn't
He
start all
started
those
him.
games. He
Yes,
didn't
he did.
start all those 10 games that he scored in, Tony. We looked at that. Go look at it. And tell me how many games he started, Tony. Because I
He
swear we
started
looked
the
at this
last 10
because
games last year.
JS says play Rice as defender in Saliba's place and make Jorginho Partey play in a pivot. Or Partey Mourinho. Yeah. Who? Gary, we have 5 missing players: Odegaard, Saliba, Saka, Calafiori, and Timber. Yeah, and that's what's hurting us is the fullbacks, especially. We've been able to overcome Odegaard's absence for a while, but I feel like the legs are getting a little bit tired now. Arteta needed to open things up and bring one area in to save the legs on some of the players. Didn't do it. White will be right back 100% on Sunday. Timber is turning out to be injury prone. Yeah, despite having no injury records in the Eredivisie.
And they're all different muscle injuries, like
Timber's injured as well. So
our favorite Japanese player.
Yeah, Tomiyasu. We've got a lot. We're carrying a lot of players that can pick up injuries, and we try to multi-function the squad a little bit in terms of. We're just discussing it. We're debating it in a vibrant manner in terms of what we can do on Sunday, moving pieces around on the chess board.
Is Timber out, is he?
What?
Is Timber out?
Timber
Yes.
could be out, you know. I think there's going to be some late fitness. There's going to be some late fitness checks and trying to get players ready. Tomiyasu was a lost case at this point. Played 3 or 4 games and then goes out for an entire season. Has to be let go. When he's fit and firing, He's a great player, but injury, the worst ability, the best ability is your availability. Apparently, Tomiyasu and
Do you think
Saliba.
it's a case of some people like Tomiyasu coming from the Italian league, they come over to the Premier League and they're physically, it's too much.
pace.
The speed of the game, maybe the strength of the game.
Physicality, even of the game, you know.
It's
The
just
same league that
crazy.
Calafiori's just come from.
It's just crazy that he's
Marino, right? Playing in the Spanish league.
Yeah. BX said Kai has scored 3 fantastic goals this season against Brighton, PSG, and Southampton.
Yeah,
The Southampton one was the pick of the
problem
3.
is that he should have had a brace in the Brighton game, and he should have had more goals in many of the other games.
Well,
Like
you
so,
say he should have had a brace, but that Brighton game was
1-on-1 with the goalkeeper,
10
with
against
the striker,
11.
1-on-1 with a goalkeeper, and it's
It
a
was
striker.
gassed.
If you don't think that should be considered a goal, then you don't know football, right? And obviously you don't know football because you think that's not an expected goal. The expected goal should be 1. He should score that.
You're
That
not
was
going
Ollie
to defend
Watkins.
yourself,
That's in the
right?
back of the
10
net, right?
men against 11. He's
When
gassed
you
getting into that
when the
position.
only person in front of you is the goalkeeper and you're the striker, you
He's stretching
score.
for that ball.
You score.
Defend
No,
yourself,
you
right?
score.
Gary
Tony.
said you don't know football.
Yeah, you don't.
Ray knows.
Ray knows
Bo
nothing. He knows a lot of it.
Tony's my lawyer. I cannot speak.
You know what? How does steel feel around your wrists? If Tony's your lawyer, yeah, just get used to it. You can have some bracelets on there soon.
No, you're not.
Tony knows. Tony's. You know what? This is gonna drop you in a
Tony's
hole.
bribing
You're
the
not even gonna
fucking
get to go
judge.
to
What do you
prison.
think
That's too
Tony's
nice
doing?
for you. Tony's gonna get you in a hole out in the back.
In Oklahoma.
Sharing the cell
I'm
with
getting you
Diddy.
kickbacks. I'm getting kickbacks from a judge. Come on.
Oh, you're definitely getting kickbacks. You're going in, buddy.
Oklahoma.
Ray, don't trust him.
Out there.
You'd be sharing the
least
cell
I'll
with Diddy and R. Kelly.
I'll have a view of the cattle back there. Put me somewhere where I can see the cattle, Tony.
Yeah. Can we talk about our capital for 1 second?
capital?
Oklahoma.
Capital of Oklahoma.
Why are we talking about that?
But
This is
the
our
Capitol
Arsenal show.
building.
No.
It just no. Listen,
Go on.
No. You're
I'll
gonna take
allow
me
it.
down. You're taking me down a road I don't want to go. 'cause
I'll
it's
indulge
Tony
you.
road. I don't want to go down that road.
He had
shut
a
up.
2-minute timeout.
Ray said no
It's-
indulge
2
me.
minutes.
He doesn't want to hear you. No, don't give him anything. Why did you let him on the show? I've been trying to. Kick him off.
You got
You
that
have
power.
this. He already did for 2 minutes. So fuck off, Gary.
I can.
Anyway.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
You're
So
gonna have to go into
anyway,
timeout now, Tony.
anyway,
You've been muted.
A Tony
fella.
timeout.
Yeah, you talk to the man with his finger on the button.
It's hovering. It's hovering, Tony.
Wow,
All right, what do you got to say, Tony?
he can't do it.
anyway,
This is nonsense.
what are you
All
doing?
right,
Right?
we like a bit of nonsense on Thursday night.
Anyway, Oklahoma was one of 2 states without a dome on their capital. Oklahoma waits 95 fucking years to put a dome on their capital. Guess what happens? All the limestone starts falling off a Capitol building. So do you know what Oklahoma does? Let's go spend $350 million on the Capitol building.
To put a dome up there finally.
To fix it. No, they put the dome up there and it made the building fucking fall apart. All the limestone was falling off.
Because of the weight of it.
Yeah, because in Oklahoma the soil moves a lot, so you put all this extra
It
weight on it.
settles. It settled into the ground, yeah.
Yeah.
Now
after
listen.
that-
You thought you were tuning in to hear about Arsenal, and you get an extra segment.
And you were wrong.
Of nonsense that you don't want to even hear.
Tony knows. Tony.
Tony knows a lot of crap.
Tony creates his own segments on shows. The Tony
Remember that
knows
TV show
segment.
Ground Force. Tony Robinson. Anyway,
Yeah. Was that gardening? That was the gardening thing, was it?
no, that was a
No.
time team. Ground force. Alan Titchmarsh. Anyway,
Yeah, that was the gardening thing. And Charlie Dimmock, I think. All right, I digress. Arsenal fans turned on Tierney for not being available, but Tierney has been injured for Arsenal much less than Tomiyasu. Tony would represent Ray for a parking ticket in court, and somehow Ray would end up getting
Exactly. That's why I'm
That's
trying to
probably what
save
happened.
him, but he seems to want to go down that road.
You were supposed to save me. Now you send me to death row, Tony. Damn you. Damn
Yeah.
you.
I'll get you off. My dad had one speeding ticket, Ray, and he fought it because somebody told him that the cop wasn't certified to run the radar gun.
Loophole. He found the loophole.
Yeah, loophole.
Nice.
He didn't
Nice.
know how to run the gun.
Nice.
pull the trigger and read the number.
So that's what I think, but apparently he wasn't good at it. How do you not get certified in that? Do you have Tourette's or something?
Are we
That-
happy?
That policeman is now working for VAR.
Yeah. Howard Webb. What would we think about Howard Webb taking a kind of a tour away from his duties? You know what I mean? He seems to be doing the circuit now on the overlap, right? And doing some other things. He should really concentrate on what he's doing. Gary, I think Bukayo Saka comes back on Sunday.
I hope so.
Injured on England duty. So the Arsenal fan base has been kind of quiet about that. If he'd got injured whilst playing for Arsenal, it would be a different kind of noise, right?
Yeah. Well, we said the more he plays, the more chance he's going to get to injured. They never rest him, right? Nobody ever rests him. It was. I think we've been done. We're done screaming for that. That it's going to happen if we keep doing it, and it happened. So now it's like, well, it was bound to happen eventually. The man never gets a rest, right?
Yeah.
But why is he playing in any of those games? Supposedly Cole Palmer is better than him. So why and Foden's better than him,
Cole
right?
Palmer, yeah.
So why is he playing?
Well,
in every game.
Liverpool fans will have an opportunity to say they stopped Bukayo Saka. I don't think that's going to happen on Sunday.
I
Cole
don't
Palmer
think
was
that
shut
happened
down.
either because he's not.
Cole Palmer was shut down at Anfield, and they're going to face Martinelli and Saka. Red John said, "I love how the mention of Howard Webb made Stan put the Spider-Man picture up." LOL. Yeah, we just got Webb blocked right there, Tony. We got Webb blocked. Yeah, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka. All right, let's talk about Martinelli. Gary, is there signs of Martinelli coming to life a little bit now in this part of the season? He looked a little bit more dangerous, did he not?
Yeah, no, he does. And that initially when I saw that shot, I was like, how did it go in? And then you see how it goes in. You're like, all right, well, he puts the ball on target to some degree.
Yeah.
It just hit the post. So it was deflected off the post. It was on target. It deflected off the post, and then we got lucky there. So he's been, he's been. We need more. We need a lot more of that. As somebody said, when do we get to see him? When do we get to see him take off on one of his runs and score a goal? When is that going to happen? Because we're still waiting for that one to happen.
Counter-attacking.
That's when he's kind of back into form, right?
Generally, against Liverpool, he has decent games against Liverpool.
Well, everybody has to have that game against Liverpool, so it's not just one player.
Because him and Klopp were dead buddies.
I don't know about all that.
Klopp and Martinelli.
Klopp Martinelli thing, the link. Okay, Martinelli's goal is what most insurance companies categorize as an act of God. Tony knows he was talking to the insurance company before he came on here. Stan, what do you think about Martinelli in recent games?
I think he's trying to work his way back in.
Yeah.
And what I do like about Martinelli is, yes, you know, we want to think of him as scoring or putting someone through. But in some of those games where we've been down to 10 men and we've had to play defensively, he's showed another side of his game. He's really played. He's a real team player. You know, he's a team player, which is, you know, for wide players, they can be a bit selfish, can't they?
Yeah.
A bit sulky, a bit selfish. They want the ball this way. They want it to feet. They want it played over the top, whatever. He seems to be a good team player. And again, for me, that's down to the manager. That's the togetherness of the whole team. They buy into it. They will play for each other. You know? You see what it's like when somebody makes a mistake in the team. You see the way the rest of the team try to pull them up.
Yep.
You know, there's not a lot of cussing going on. There's not a lot of like, you know, blame putting. It's more like, okay, we will go again, and we'll dig our way out of it. It's a good attitude. Martinelli, he's someone that I think a lot of Arsenal fans really are willing. They will him to do so well. We can all see the talent in there, and I just hope there's more to come because he came from such a low division. Where he was to where he got to Arsenal. And I heard this conversation, it was some months ago, they were discussing Martinelli on, I don't know, some podcast, TV show, whatever. And they were saying, I hope he hasn't reached his zenith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that he's actually plateaued. I'd like to hope there's more to come from him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people you know, there was a talk for so long about Martinelli being someone that should be tried through the middle. I like him on the wing. The way that he plays the game, I think for me, he's such a good player as a wide winger. I don't think he'd be as effective through the middle, waiting for the ball and in the penalty box. He likes to run with the ball and take players on. So, yeah, I just hope there's more to come from him because I really want him to do well. And for the money that we paid for him, you know, peanuts.
Yeah.
7 million. You know, if he can come good, it's such a good investment.
You remember all that talk about people saying, let's go get Rafinha, and everybody's like, he's washed up. And now, you know, Rafinha's on a run now, right?
How's he doing?
He's doing really well. I think he's doing really well. Right? Yep.
I thought he's being kept out of the team by someone. I thought, was it the young kid?
He's starting for them, so I don't think so.
Yamin Lamar.
No, I don't think he's stopping him from playing. Because where does he play? Let's see how he's been doing here.
But again, if we got a Rafinha, I mean, primarily that's Saka's position, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another player that I really like in that position is Rodrigo. I think he's excellent. But again, you know, if he comes to Arsenal, again, why would you buy him to play him out of his best position?
Yeah.
To play him on the left when he's better on the right. We've got Saka on the right.
Yeah.
You know?
Say this. He's been the last three starts that he's played, he was the captain for Barcelona. So
Rafinha?
Yes.
Wow.
He's got 2 goals and 4 assists in the last 5 games that he's played. So he's doing all right. He had a hat trick earlier in the season. I mean, he's doing 5 goals and 7 assists on the season.
But is he being paid?
Will you answer that question?
Is what?
But is he being paid?
Is he being paid?
Allegedly, you know, at Barcelona, it's like players are like getting paid.
I don't pay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're gonna be able to get him now. So,
if you're making that much money, do you really miss it if you miss 2 paychecks?
Well, what are you saying? It doesn't. People like not to get paid, Tony.
Well,
Somebody says I'm going to pay $1 million $1
Yeah,
million
man.
every month, and they're like, "Oh no, we won't be able to pay you this month." Oh, you'll be okay with that just because you made $1 million the month before. I don't think so.
I wouldn't be that mad. Come on.
No, you'd be mad. They took $1 million from you, dude.
Um,
It's all
one other thing.
it's all relative, and it's at different levels, Tony. It's the same. What's the difference if it's 10,000 or if it's $1 million? Still money. It's your money.
If you have 50 million in your bank account, you're not gonna miss $1 million.
He doesn't have 50 million in his bank account, but
How do you know? Are you his accountant?
has he got paid that much? He hasn't, right? You think you don't think he has any expenditures? He just gets all this money, doesn't spend any of it.
He has smart investors. Doesn't
No, Tony, you're wrong.
he? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
How do you know I'm wrong?
Because you're wrong like 100% of the time, Tony.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, sorry, that's just how it works.
Ray, who is the 3-time winner of the year?
Nobody on this show.
That would be you, Tony,
He's just being nice to you.
my lawyer. I have him on
Dude,
retainer.
stop saying that. You will be in. No, don't say it anymore. Do you love your family, Ray?
You ever seen my cousin Vinny?
Can we name this player? Arsenal player.
Yes. Stan.
Let me ask you a quick. I don't know, Tony.
Left wing. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Look, it's left.
Rafina has made 36 mil in his career, so he doesn't have 50 mil sitting in his bank account, Tony.
That would be about 5 positions.
And he's made 25 in the last 2 years, Tony.
That's for 5 positions that Trossard can play in. Right?
Stan, you had a question?
Yeah, a question to all of you and everybody in the chat box. If you had £100 million to spend on a player this January window, on one player, not like spend it amongst a group of players, you got to spend it on one player. Who are you spending it on?
The player that me and you said we want to sign as our striker, a Portuguese guy.
Gyökeres.
If you watched him on Tuesday, you pick him.
Yeah. I think I'd go along with Gyökeres, but maybe Osimhen as well.
Well, why wouldn't you just spend it on Haaland? You know he's going to score goals. You just got to get the ball to him.
He's not for sale.
Realistic.
Nobody's. You didn't. Now it's realistic all of a sudden.
Yeah, I was being kind of realistic. Obviously, I mean, I'm not saying Haaland, obviously, or Mbappe, or Pele. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there's no Pele available. All right,
more realistic.
Now you keep changing the parameters. It's moving the goalposts, as they say. Yeah.
Well, it's got to be realistic, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
You say nobody would take? They wouldn't take 100 mil for him?
No.
I don't think Man City would sell.
Spending 100 mil on Kvaratskhelia, whatever that guy's name is.
Kvaratskhelia, yeah.
And you don't even have to pay 100. You don't even have to pay 100 mil for Gyökeres. He's only like 85.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not saying that you have to spend all of it. Who would you spend it on? Gyökeres.
Osimhen.
Go with Gyökeres.
Isak. I mean, and pick one.
I think Gyökeres can fit our. I think Gyökeres can fit our.
Can you tell Gary how much he's worth?
I don't care, Tony. Everybody gets paid. Every player gets sold for that much money, right? Every time.
€200 million. You're not going to sell him for 100.
We'll get an answer out of him, Stan.
Yeah, I just said it. Gyökeres.
Okay, Gyökeres. Okay.
At the top for Gyökeres, Tony.
I already said the Portuguese player that we said we want to sign last week.
Tony doesn't do names.
Who?
We had this debate for like 10 minutes last week.
I never said a Portuguese player.
No, we both didn't. We didn't pick the Portuguese player.
All right. Who would you spend the money on? Who would you spend the money on?
English.
Can you say a name?
Answer the question.
Yeah, give us a name, Tony. Come on.
You know who it is, Ray.
Nobody knows who it is because you didn't say anything. You just keep saying you know who it is. What's the name of the player, Tony?
He's Portuguese.
I don't. There's lots of
I'm
still
Portuguese
not.
players.
I'm still
talking
not
about.
getting anything.
Portuguese striker. Come on.
Which one?
Well,
Cristiano
one that they did
Ronaldo.
on Tuesday.
You're
The
not
one
going
that
to
they
tell us
did.
who it is, so then you don't want to name him. That's fine. All right, move on to the
João
next guy.
Felix. Right, me. I'd go with Isak.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
I would go.
Why you would?
Because
All right.
as much as I like the numbers that Gyökeres puts up, I know that Isak's doing it in this league.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to get him off the physio table. You know,
Yeah. Or prize him away.
we don't need that. I'd rather go with a younger player who might actually be able to play every game.
Yeah. All right. We're going to
like
round this
Isak,
up in a few minutes. Stan, anything else? I've got one more thing to talk about. News today that Odegaard might be far enough in his rehabilitation to be ready for the next international break. And the Norwegian coach is already talking about possibly bringing him into the next international.
Why in the world would we do that? That makes no sense. That's like what? They played him in one game. He got hurt. They said, "Oh no, we're going to double down and play him in the second game and play him." No, he's injured until after.
We don't have control, really.
No, we do have control.
These
He's not
things.
back until November 21st. That's
All right.
when he'll be available.
Arsenal will politely send a note to the Norwegian FA, Stan. Yeah.
Delivered by a sled dog.
Well, there's
Driven by
a few
Sam
ways-
Greenwood.
All right, Stan, go ahead.
there's a few ways of looking at it. I was, funny enough, on one of my bus journeys during the week, I was listening to Talk Sport, and they were talking to Stuart Pearce, and they were talking about this same subject about, you know, missing friendlies and managers saying that you can't go. And he said that for him, it was the highest honor to play for England, and he would never want to miss a friendly. He said it's the highest honor to play. This is just my opinion. It's the highest honor to play for my country. To know that there's somebody out there that believes that I'm one of the best 11 that can go out and go up against best 11s from other countries. He goes, it's the highest pinnacle that, you know, you can do. And I think a lot of players,
it's not the same.
Obviously,
football.
Ben White notwithstanding, I think a lot of footballers may feel that.
I just think it's not that same football they're talking about. This
also as well, though, right?
And the football then is not the same. So I would, I would say no, it's not the same thing.
He also said there was
talk about
times
the
when he
old
was
days. It's not the old days.
When he was managing England, maybe at 21 level, I don't know if he managed the full team as caretaker, but he said that he'd get a call from Arsene Wenger telling him to pick Theo Walcott because Theo Walcott needed minutes. Maybe he was coming back from an injury or something like that, right? Pick him and play him. He needs to play, right? He needs to. He goes, but then there'd be other times when he wanted to pick Theo Walcott, and the manager wouldn't let him. Say no, you know, this, that, or the other.
Yeah,
because it didn't suit the manager. They were maybe in a competition in the Champions League. They're playing in the Champions League, you know, a game coming up. So it all depends on the situation, right? There's times when he's actually telling the manager not only to pick him, I want you to play him for the whole game because he needs to play. So you might think that in there might be a situation that Martin Odegaard has been out for so long, might need the minutes on international duty to help him be better for us, rather than, do you know what I mean? Trying to get those minutes of us and being shit, he could probably do with. You know what I mean?
And as you mentioned with Arsene Wenger and the England manager at the time, you know, the relationship between the national manager and the club manager could be a good one. You know, like where Mikel Arteta has a good rapport with the Norwegian manager. And they the clubs talk to the national team about this. So
you trust him after what he did though? You keep talking about this trust, and he put a player back out there. Did you see the tackle? The first tackle that he had?
Yeah.
And he put him back out there again. So how in the world do you say, okay, I can trust him. I can trust him. I'm going to trust him again with my player, right?
Yeah.
That tackle, no. He should have never. He should have came right off that pitch. He didn't, and he played the next game. And
Things
guess
like
what?
this are are freak occurrences. That
No,
injury
that
was
tackle wasn't a freak one. That was, you know what I mean?
He's talking
There
about
was no need.
injury,
There was no
not
need for
about
him
the
to go back
tackle.
out the second game after that first one. So I just think you're playing with fire, and look what happens now. He's been out for a long period of time, and we're gonna say just bring him back and let's trust this guy again.
Yeah, I can see both sides on this one.
The captain for Norway as well. Is he the captain?
Yeah, Odegaard is the captain.
Well, he's
Yeah,
their
John said-
national poster boy. He probably feels so proud to be the captain of his country.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Out of everybody in his country, he's the one that's the captain. I mean,
everybody, you're all kind of right in this situation, right? John, though, saying if we get any more injuries, our season is over. By the way, and Arsenal didn't set out this season with their transfer policy saying we're going to lose Saka, we're going to lose Odegaard. What are we going to do? You try to plan the best you can for injuries, and sometimes injuries.
But here's the thing, right? Before the season started, remember the question I kept asking, and I kept saying when we kept talking about the season ahead, and even in the early games, my question was, what do we do? We talk about transfers coming in and who we're looking at. I kept saying, what do we do if Odegaard should get an injury?
Yeah,
I kept saying it. What do we do?
Yep.
What are we going to do? And it's happened now. And as you can see, I can't believe that me sitting in my armchair on a podcast is asking that question, and the people that are coaching the team and know more about the team and are being paid for it. No, they weren't asking that question.
Yeah.
And they didn't make sure that there was a contingency plan should that arise. The contingency plan we all
I've
thought
been asking
when we looked
for
at
a rotation for years now. You can ask Ray back when we had scrubs on the team. Like, why are you holding on to these players if you're not going to play them? Right? That's my thing. You play them only when you have injuries.
Because he's Lego, man.
It's too late.
Trust like 8
players. So I you either have a squad or you don't. If you don't have a squad, then you need to replace players, right?
And it's obviously not Waneri because the minutes show that that's not the answer. That's not the answer.
He doesn't trust him. So why did he even give him an opportunity to play? Should he be out on loan if you're not going to play him?
He shouldn't be out alone. He used to be starting.
No, if you're not going to play him, then he should be out on loan.
Yeah.
Tony. If you're not going to play, like he should have played in the Brighton game when Erdogan went off injured. He didn't play him then, right? Oh, because it's too early in the season. Now we're 5 games since then, and we still haven't seen him play.
Now was the perfect time
in the Premier League, right?
Now was the perfect time in the season to do this. You're not going to be able to do it.
You played Bournemouth, and we haven't seen him start and get some substantial minutes. Why? When is he going to play if he can't play against Southampton? He didn't start against Southampton. Like Southampton. Where's Southampton? Where's Southampton in the league? Where are they?
That doesn't matter because.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? Obviously, it does matter. Southampton is one of the worst teams in the league, and he can't start against them.
Lego logic.
No, you're not getting what we're saying, Tony.
Lego logic.
See, and that's why Tony is the perfect lawyer.
Yeah, you're going to jail, Ray.
It's but
Ray, don't take. You know what? Hand over all. Make sure everything's in your wife's name, and you're not coming out. They're not even. They say they lock you up and they throw away the key. Right? No, they just drop you in a hole.
You forgot about it.
Forgot about what, Tony?
Do you remember Lego logic?
Yeah, Lego logic. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Give each of you an opportunity to say something. I think we should start with Tony. Your final words, Tony.
Yeah. Well, why does it go to me this time? I like being last.
He's letting you talk. Say what your piece and move on.
I'm used to going last. Not used to going first here.
Say what you got to say.
We got to be very careful in the Champions League because everybody's scoring goals. We're down to we're down to 9th place.
7th, 9th. You're right. on 7 points. You're right.
Because everybody's scoring goals.
Or as Gary says, join third after 3 games.
And we would have super been in trouble if it wasn't for that save in the 93rd minute.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, David Raya.
And that game, we so dominated the first half, and we were sloppy as fuck. Everybody was, except for probably Gabriel and one area when he came on. Everybody else was sloppy. Very poor start to the second half. But I don't want to see Partey at right back. Play your best players in their best position, then you'll win. It's not that hard. Just play them where they go.
All right, Tony, thank you. I'm glad you got your insurance switched around. And Stan, what are your thoughts for Sunday and last Tuesday?
Well, just looking forward to Sunday. Very nervous. And
these are the games, though, right?
These are the games, man, and it's going to be interesting to see who we put out and who's going to turn up, and can we get all 3 points? Need all 3 points, man. All 3 points. At home.
Yeah, we saw Jurgen Klopp out toward the last couple of seasons of his tenure.
Maybe Sunday's the day we get that. Maybe Sunday is the day we get that Havertz brace.
The Havertz brace, and we see Arne slot. We break the slot machine. Let's break the slot machine on Sunday as well, and get what's the jackpot? What's the jackpot on the slots? Is it 3 cherries? 3 what?
I don't know. I can go get one in my garage. Do we need that as a prop?
I believe that. Gary, take us out of here for final words. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, I'll try to come up with a game plan. We need to win. That's all. That's the only thing you got to do. Just get the win. I don't care how you do it. And make sure your team's prepared and ready to go. Doesn't matter who is playing. We need to steal a win at home, which is crazy to say, but that's where we are right now. Yeah. Whoever plays, make sure, play. I say play your best 11 players. I think that's where we're at right now. I don't care where they play. Rather have the best 11 players on the pitch than we're playing this guy in position, but he sucks. You know what I mean? That kind of doesn't make any sense for me. This game really makes or breaks the season. It's, because we have a tough run after that, right? And if you come out of this game without a win, it could trickle down and go into the next set of games, right? I mean, we've got really two tough away games in Champions League, two tough away games in the Premier League, with I guess a Preston match in the middle of that thing. So Arteta, you got to get this win. Nobody is giving you a chance right now, but we could get a win out of this. You got to play some disciplined football, right? So there you go.
The one-legged bandit has a one-arm bandit. The one-legged bandit has a one-arm.
Why do you have that?
Because I need props, Gary.
You need props for what?
For any occasion.
All right, I will allow it. I will allow it.
I bet when Tony's nieces and nephews come round, he makes them put the nickel in as well.
That is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and he confiscates any winnings for the
house. You gotta put a nickel in.
Hey, that slot is as shady as a $3 note. I mean, there's something that's not right about it. You don't know what it is. It just doesn't make any. You're like, is this real? I don't know.
One-legged bandit. There's a one-armed bandit at the same time. All right, Tony. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Listen, it's Liverpool. We had a recovery result against Shaktar Donetsk. It could have been a couple more goals. A penalty miss. We don't know why Kai didn't take the penalty and be greedy. We want Kai to be greedy in that situation.
But can we talk about their goalkeeper on that real quick? He fucking stopped it with his
20 seconds.
It was a terrible. It was a terrible penalty kick, Tony.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
He died the wrong direction.
If he put at least a foot or two of space on that ball, he scores like he's supposed to. That ball's not
If the
supposed to go that
goalkeeper
low.
doesn't lift his foot up, then it goes in.
What do you mean? When
Come
he
on.
dives, the foot comes up.
Calling it. Thanks for being here, guys. It was a good one tonight. I enjoyed it. I now have a lawyer if I ever get in
No,
trouble.
you don't. You
Good.
basically have a
Better
guy
call Tony.
who's gonna get you
Better call
thrown in
Tony.
jail.
Better call Tony.
Tony.
I think what I'll do on Sunday is part of the game will be ending as our kickoff time, a 2 p.m. slot goes. So I don't know. We'll talk about it, but maybe I will start at the normal time. But the clocks will go back in the UK and not over here on Sunday.
Because of George Bush.
But we're not starting before the game's finished, are we?
What do you want to do? We'll do it after.
Well, kickoff's
let's do it.
Kickoff's at 9:30 my time.
Yeah.
Which means usually it's 2 hours, right? You should have finished about 11 my time.
It's gonna finish
Might be
about
tomorrow.
11, which would be 2, the normal time.
I
You
don't
want to kick it. You want to kick it back a little bit to a 30-minute break after the game, or
Yeah.
okay. Try and plan that. Okay,
Ah,
it'll be about on the half hour then. Okay, after the 30 minutes after the normal time. Okay.
Yeah.
right.
boo.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Gary. Come on, Gunners. Let's
Or even
beat,
15 minutes.
Huh?
Or even 15, depending on whatever.
Okay.
However, it works for everybody
That'll
else.
Okay, that'll work. All right, have a good weekend. Go see Gary's show on Saturday morning. The
Why would we do that, Rick?
road trip? I don't know. I'm just being nice.
You made it sound like I had to go to the theater or something.
You want people to come
That's
watch
not
your
true.
channel. You're not pushing other people's channel. Why would anybody come watch that crap you're pushing out there, Tony?
It's wrestling. Everybody likes
Nobody.
wrestling.
No, it's crap. It's
I
Tony.
bet Tony's slot machine is going to pop up on his show.
You
Next
know what?
time.
That's just the level. There's levels to this. There's levels, and then there's levels, right? The levels, yeah.
You
I
could
think
see the big.
Tony's slot machine should start a channel.
It should be just him pulling the lever. All you should see is like the arm pulling the lever, and limbs in the background in the basement. All right, take care, guys. I will see you Sunday, everybody. Let's hope Arsenal can break that slot machine. Break that slot machine, Tony.
Come on!